Gee willikers. Eeyore. I like how EB says it. Good morning, gang. AJC being very formal. I've got a gents, a y'all, and everybody. Paula's in a good mood.
Must be the Tigers because the Red Wings are missing the playoffs.
Yes, they are.
And Steve Yzerman deserves to be fired.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I could support that.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this final Thursday of March. Man, the sports world is heating up today and tonight. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Mark, I have a question for you. We could even make it a poll question. It's very simple. Is today opening day?
Well, yes. I don't even think it's a question. It's not opening day when you have a one-off. That's. Do you know how many people in the sports world make fun of yesterday? Baseball guy celebrates it. The rest of the sports, baseball guy celebrates it because baseball guy has become hockey guy. They can't say anything. You know, Michael Kay's the only guy that uttered a bad word about his sport, and he was just jealous that for 2 years in a row, he didn't get to do his team's opening day. That's all he's mad about. He didn't knock baseball because I read through the transcripts and the articles about it. He never knocked baseball. He's fully supportive of baseball. Baseball guy goes out of their way just to tell you how great baseball is. But every show, every podcast, everything I saw yesterday attacked the sport for the one-off. Baseball is when opening day is when everyone plays.
Okay, I just asking. That's all.
And I'm just telling you,
Simple
people
question.
don't like it.
I made fun of it all day, okay, by just simply saying there's the Yankees and Giants on Netflix. I mean, I'm sorry, that to me didn't make it seem real. Didn't make it seem official. It's like, what are we doing? Wait, the baseball game on Netflix?
Well, yeah, I thought you had more. The way I read it from you, tell me if I'm wrong, you had a bigger problem with it being on Netflix because I've never heard you complain like that for the last, however many years it was on the 4-letter network. The Netflix thing seems to really bother you.
Well, I thought it was stupid. Okay, and I get the whole, we want one-offs and we can get extra money, and I get that. I understand that, it's a business. What is it after all? It's a TV show. Okay, but to me, you put that sucker on NBC. You want as many people to see it as possible. It's your first game, whether you want to call it opening day, opening night, whatever. This is your Thursday night of the NFL season. we're going to have 14 games or whatever it is on Sunday. Okay. But we're playing the Thursday one-off. And oh, by the way, what do we put that game on? We put it on NBC. Now, anything we want to do after that, we can go crazy. They can put it on Amazon, Netflix, whatever it is they want to do if they want to play a Friday game in a foreign country. But the opener we put on NBC. Even the NFL announced yesterday, the Seahawks are going to kick off the season, and they're going to do it on NBC. We haven't determined the opponent yet, but quite frankly, it doesn't matter. Here's what you need to know. Wednesday, September 9th, circle the calendars, NBC 8:30. Got it, boys. But Netflix, what the hell? They don't even do baseball. What?
Well, I mean, neither did NBC for the longest time. They're doing it today. I don't have the problem with the streaming thing that you do. Obviously. I get what you're saying, right. But I don't have the problem with it.
But I just asked, if you've already played a game, can you have, to me, is this like a business that has a soft open, but like a week later, then they have, our grand opening? Is that what this is? Is this baseball's grand opening? They had a soft open last night in San Francisco. The grand opening is today.
Well, I mean, I watched the start of the game, so I guess I'm in a minority. Baseball was on. I gave it a shot. I thought the open was set up for a much younger audience, but as I've said for the longest time, baseball doesn't care about me. They think they've got me. I'm 56 years old. I'm a prime baseball watcher. Hell, I'm a young baseball watcher. So the hip hop dance next to the taxi cabs as the Yankees were introduced, followed by the similar dance by the giant dancers in the streetcar, cable car rather, for the San Francisco Giants was a little much for me. It was very not baseball. I've watched starting lineups since I was a little kid at all-star games and World Series where they bring out all the starters and all the players are lined up on the first and third base lines respectively.
You love that.
This was very different. This was something I had not seen before. The dancers and the players coming out of a cable car or out between two taxi cabs was unusual to say the least. But I said it a long time ago. They don't care about me. They want new people watching. And I would love to know from any of you that watched last night. 21,000 is the text line. The keyword is Miller if you've never texted the show before. If you watched the game with your kids, if you watched the game with your grandkids, if you're under the age of 30 and actually awake and listening to this show, which would be a blank and miracle, I would love to hear from you if that worked for you. Because to be brutally honest, if you're my age or older and you didn't like it, I don't care. You were watching. They got you.
Okay, but if you don't like it, then, if Netflix does more baseball, you may not be inclined to watch.
Well, I think this was an opening night thing. I don't think they're going to do starting lineups like this every time they have a baseball game on. I think this was All right. Okay. And I guess if that open was enough that you'll never watch another baseball game, I guess I would like to know. But if that were a hockey game, for instance, it wouldn't stop me from watching hockey. Hell, it didn't stop me from watching baseball. Now, it was 5 spit earlier, and I went to the Bruins in Buffalo because I'm more interested in hockey right now than I am the first game of baseball. But, there was a triple in the first 2 innings, David. That is amazing.
I agree right with you, by the way. I made sure to be there for the open, and once they put the 5 spot on the board, I was like, well, we can go back to this Bruins Sabres game. That first period was fun. And then I got back for the third. So I thought it was, for what it's worth, overproduced. Lots of bells and whistles. Here's the other thing. They missed 3 first pitches. Okay, there's a thing in broadcasting. You can't miss a pitch. You can't miss a snap. Seriously, nothing can get you fired or demoted more quickly in television than if you miss a snap or if you're doing baseball, if you miss a pitch. You can do whatever you want in between the pitches. Go crazy. You can't miss a pitch and you can't miss a snap. And they missed 3 pitches yesterday. 3. And 2 of them were hits. First pitch swinging, base hits. That's all, at the network level, that's horrendous. Now, you all may go, I didn't even notice. But at the network level, trust me, they're like, this is horrendous. These people should be fired. So,
David, I have to be honest, and I'm not the broadcaster that you are from the standpoint of where I work or where I have worked. At the minor league level, that bothers me. I mean, I did hockey back in a day when there weren't TV timeouts.
right.
And you had to guess.
Right.
And get your 30-second break in over an icing call and try to be back before the puck dropped. And there were times in which a goal was scored and I missed it. If it was at the road team scored, it was okay because I would simply reenact the play. If the home team scored and the horn's going when you come back, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, it was the most embarrassing thing for me as a minor league hockey broadcaster. At the network level, it's beyond embarrassing.
I know I told this story once before, but it's been over 10 years. High school football game of the week, Saturday afternoon in Binghamton. CBS affiliate, WBNG, Channel 12. We rule the market. We got like 60 ratings, 80 shares. Literally everybody watches us. We're doing the high school football game of the week. Somehow, some way, we didn't coordinate it. We go to break before the opening kickoff. And they line up and do the kickoff. And we're in break. I'm doing play-by-play. Okay, it's the first time. It's my first live game in Binghamton. And we did a lot of live broadcasting for a local station. Yeah, Mark, we came back and Maine Enwell was celebrating in the end zone because the kid took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Okay, we weren't recording because we were in commercial, so we couldn't show you the touchdown. And the final score, Mark, care to guess?
7-0.
Missed the
maybe
extra
8,
point.
maybe 6.
Right, exactly. 6-0. And so the funny thing was, I remember calling my buddy up who was at the other station, and I said, so how much money could I give you to get that highlight? He said, absolutely not. We're going to bill it as an exclusive. And sure enough, I remember going home and watching the touchdown on a competitor station because they were the only ones that had it.
But baseball underway for nearly everyone today.
11 games today.
And
Right.
NBC, I thought Peacock was going to have the first one. It's a double dip on the big network. NBC afternoon, NBC at night.
Really? Paul Skeens is getting the NBC treatment at 1 o'clock?
Absolutely. They're all in to this live sports thing.
Wow.
I know you want to say is open, and I'll put your poll question up, but I'd rather put another one up, and I'll put both. I want to know what people, and I know people have 2 televisions, but I'm back to the real world where I have just one, and I've got to make a decision.
Right.
What am I watching, baseball or basketball? I can tell you, unabashed, the baseball will never see my television tonight. Not for 1 second.
Ooh.
Not for a second.
No, Tony?
Don't care.
Okay.
Not
All
one bit. It's
All right.
basketball. If I were to flip to anything, it would be college hockey because that tournament begins today as well as they make their trek to Vegas for the Final Four. But hoop and baseball, both going in a big way today. What are you more interested in? We'll have a little baseball talk today. We'll have a little football talk today. Our buddy Mike Westhoff getting into a special part of the Hall of Fame. We'll talk to him about that coming up as well. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
EPA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
What do you want? Do you consider today opening day? Is that your question? Thank you, Aurora. Feel very well.
Looking good, Lewis.
David, do you
I know.
consider today
I'm
opening day?
I'm thinking about it.
I asked you a question and you did looking good, Lewis. I didn't know if you heard me. That's I thought fair. I apologize.
Since the Yankees and Giants played yesterday, is today still opening day?
For me, it's not opening day till my team plays.
Ah, your team is?
The Cubs.
So it's today.
Yeah. So I'm definitely with Mark on that Tigers Cubs World Series hope.
Well, yeah, you don't care who the opponent is.
And Mr. Spivey, it's not been that way for a while now.
Yeah, a long time.
Thanks, Yandel. I can always count on you.
Thank you, Chris. I just came up with that. That's what I wondered. Is that what baseball's doing? Soft open? There's opening day, and then there's the home opener.
No, it was way after that. It's when ESPN started broadcasting the Sunday night baseball game.
Javier, it was called All the Way.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour on this Thursday. Hope your week is going well. You're over the hump. We can take it from here, right? Especially with all the good sports going on. Opening day, or is it, of the baseball season later today and tonight? 11 games after the soft open last night of the Yankees and the Giants. And we've got the madness. And this is really the appetizer for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the madness. Man, the games are unbelievable tomorrow. In fact, they're going to be going on at the same time. Need 2 TVs tomorrow, Mark, just for the madness.
Yeah, I may have to, on this small TV here, I may have to use the split screen for the YouTube multi-view for the first time. I don't usually use that until football season, and it's the bottom TV that gets 4 games.
Right.
Other than that, I stay away because it's too distracting to me.
I hear you. For the record, for what it's worth, the Mets are the most successful opening day team. Mets have a remarkable record considering they've lost their first 8 openers. And since then, they're 41-15.
But lost last year.
I think they might have even lost 2 in a row. Yes.
Well, I know they lost last year, David. Do you know why I know?
Because we bet them.
Yep.
Yes, we did. The Seattle Mariners are the second winningest team. The Orioles and then Yankees are your top 4. And what's remarkable is the Orioles are one of the original American League teams. You know, they were the original Brewers. They were the Browns. I mean, they've played like 130 openers, but they win about 60% of them.
Here's what's fascinating to me about your Mets today, David. They're going against Skeens.
Yep.
Okay. So the pitching edge is clearly to the Pirates. It is.
Yes.
It's it's if not the best, the second best pitcher in the game. Yet the Mets are getting a run and a half, but not minus 110, minus 120 on the Hard Rock app. Pittsburgh is plus 100. I am very surprised that it's not just standard juice in that game, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Like you're paying a premium for the Mets. They're minus 120. That makes no sense to me.
Going up against Skeens, you're paying a premium. Right. Interesting. Yeah. So, but 11 games today. But the madness, ladies and gentlemen, the South region, those 2 games are on TBS. The West region, those 2 games are on CBS. Texas Purdue's our first game. Then about 15, 20 minutes later, Iowa, Nebraska. So the 3 Big Ten teams, okay, playing at the same time. Then the night games are Arkansas, Arizona, Illinois, Houston.
David, there's not a window this weekend where there's not a Big Ten team playing. I mean, this is, you could rename this Big Ten madness, okay? We'll see how many advance. We know we're guaranteed 1 team in the Elite 8. That much we know.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the BTI, the Big Ten Invitational.
Right.
At least to a point. Then we'll see if it continues.
I mean, what do we got? 2 Big 12, 4 Big 10, and 2 SEC tonight. That's the dream of the networks. And I really think the people that run this tournament, they can say what they want about inviting everybody. This is what they want when it comes to the Sweet 16.
Oh, no, they're thrilled. Oh, no, they're doing the happy dance. You kidding me? Absolutely doing the happy dance. And now forcing the mid-majors and the 1-bid leagues to adjust yet again. And this might be the toughest adjustment at all because it's financial. Oh, boy.
And who out there of the mid-majors financially can keep up? That's why, we've mentioned Liberty a million times. They've got a ton of money. Gonzaga, they get the money for basketball. They actually are right there. They're not really a mid-major anymore. But the days of an FIU making a run or even a San Diego State, that's your darling. That's always kind of been the one you've thought that has a shot to break into the big boy land.
Yeah, I actually think it can happen and will happen before the decade is over, because when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, Mark, they say if you want to be a big boy in the sport, you got to spend 10. Well, a lot of these mid-majors don't play football. So they need to come up with 10 or so million, and that's just to compete in a power conference. Never mind what it could do if I'm in the Big South or name your 1-bid league. Okay, I mean, Mark, just about every school's got a whale. Whether they've tapped into it or not, that's a whole other thing. But now that the business model is the business model, and you go to that whale or you go to 2 of them and you go, so do you want us to be the Gonzaga of the South? Because here's what it's going to take. What do you say? Hell, I'll rename the school. We've got one named William and Mary. I can name it after you 2. Seriously. You want to be a powerhouse? We can't be a powerhouse in football. All right. We could do this in hoop. What do you say? We need 10 million, and then we could compete with Florida if we had 10 million.
It's interesting, though, because you don't you're right. You could compete for a year with 10 million, but to compete, you need 10 million every year.
Yep.
Every year. And you keep hitting a whale for 10 million, you're going to end up getting to blubber.
Yep. Oh, there's no doubt. You've got to very quickly, like if you say to these 2 folks, listen, give me 10 million for each for 2 years. Okay. And then it's up to me to have a system set up so that, you guys still have your courtside seats and we're funding it elsewhere. And I'll let everybody know, by the way, that for 2 years, you 2 guys are funding the program. Okay. But it ends in 2 years.
So I know where you're coming from. You've got to get there, and then if you want to stay there, you're going to have to find additional sources of revenue.
No doubt about it. Might have to redo the inside of your arena, build some suites. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, now it's been established, although, Mark, they're saying that to buy the same player for next year that you bought for this year is a 30% increase. So
Well, I mean,
does
look
that
at you've already heard. Here's a Gator team that was a 1 seed and got knocked out early, and one of their players has already said, "I'm available."
Yep.
Highest bidder.
Yep.
So that's the system that we're in today. And I don't see it changing anytime soon as much as many want change. They're going to try to figure out a way to rein it in by the end of the decade. But right now, there haven't even been that many good ideas.
I don't know if there's been one.
And the problem is, if someone comes up with one, he is usually ripped apart for what he's done wrong while he was in the sport. So there's not any consensus among the people trying to get change that all ideas are good ideas. All ideas are just like everything else in life. All ideas are good ideas if they're mine.
And if they can hold up in court. And that's a whole other story when it concerns college athletics. Miller and Moulton. So we got the starting five coming up. Mike Westhoff next hour. Andy Freed, the radio play-by-play voice of the Rays, will join us in the 8 o'clock Eastern hour. The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Adam, your White Sox over-under this year is 67 and a half. 67 and a half. And that's interesting because they're going to be better. They really are.
Well, not losing 100 games would be better.
Right. Exactly. Hopefully this will stay. We'll see. Can't wait to have good internet again. Pirates have somewhat expectations this year, though, Adam. I mean, not anything huge, but they're expected to be a 500 team. But I know where your head's at, and I'm not. I thought it was 72.5. That's a hell of a guess, DC. Let me pull it up for you here. Yeah, 72.5. Hell of a guess, DC. Well done, you. I love that Sampson was really pissed during the World Baseball Classic that someone put up a picture, sent him a tweet of that thing that they had in center field. And I mean, Sampson went off. Ripping Jeter again for taking it down. God, it was funny. For the monument in center field there, that whatever that thing was.
It was an art sculpture. Yeah. I don't know. It was a big fish, wasn't it?
You say so.
It was, I don't know.
Among other things, yes.
Yeah, I think David's in the minority.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. But it was his. It was his idea.
Oh, yeah.
And he liked it.
And I think it cost a lot of money.
Yeah, probably more than the bus. Wow, you're getting way ahead of me, Johnny Mac, but I appreciate you going NFL.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Mike Westhoff 1 hour from now. Andy Freed 2 hours from now on Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Did we post those two poll questions?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right away. We're
All
on
right.
this.
Just making sure. So the first one is basically, since the Yankees and Giants played yesterday, is today still opening day? Or is that gone?
That's one of the two. Yeah, that's up. We're on it, man.
Okay. What's the other one?
What are you more interested in tonight? Not what are you watching, because I know you can flip back and forth, and I know a lot of people have two televisions. What are you more interested in today? Opening day, the MLB, or the NCAA tournament?
All right. So there you have it. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X.
because today's the worst day of the 2 basketball days. I mean, if someone were to say, I'm doing opening day still special to me, there were people that called it their Christmas morning yesterday. Good for you if that's what you like. And today is not the best day of the 2 days of hoop. It's just not.
No.
Unless your team's playing. Like Raj is going, what do you mean it's not the best? Purdue plays the first game, for crying out loud. You're damn right it's the best day.
Raj is like, it's great. They'll be done by 9:30, which is good because that's when I have to go to bed.
I mean, Raj is missing an outdoor concert in Southwest Florida that he wants to see tonight because Purdue's playing. And Raj is a music guy before a sports guy, and it ain't close.
Really? You wouldn't do the concert and hedge your bet that Purdue can beat Texas?
I gotta see. It's the tournament. It's the Sweet 16. I mean, come on.
Okay. No, hey, the sports fan in me, but music's your thing, man. I'm surprised. This shows me a whole new level of Purdue love. I knew you liked Purdue. I knew you really liked Purdue. You put Purdue over an outdoor concert? Wow.
There will be another Grateful Dead cover band here in Southwest Florida before long.
Okay. All right.
See, it's the madness, David. Stops everybody from what they're doing.
I like it. I like it a lot. 20 minutes before the hour. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting Five.
Brought to you for a few more shows by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community through BST, business, sports, and tourism. Baseball opening night in San Francisco. Giants held to just 3 hits. Yankees with a 5-run second. Max Fried took a 2-hitter into the 7th. All Yankees 7-0 over the Giants. 11 games today and tonight in Major League Baseball. NBC's got the national broadcasts. NBC or Peacock. Pirates Mets at 1:15. Diamondbacks Dodgers at 8:30. But there's a few marquee teams that are also playing today. The Rays are in St. Louis, 4:15 Eastern. Drew Rasmussen against Matthew Liberatore. Cubs have their home opener today. So there you go. 11 opening days today and tonight throughout Major League Baseball. Hope the weather cooperates for your favorite team. Basketball. The madness resumes tonight, Sweet 16. We've got the West region on CBS. The early games, Texas, Purdue. The late game, Arkansas, Arizona. That's a 1, a 2, a 4, and an 11 out west on CBS. The South is on TBS. Iowa, Nebraska early. Illinois, Houston late. In Houston, that's a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 9 in action. The CBS games start earlier, about 15, 20 minutes earlier, staggered starts. So 2 games going on at the same time, early and late, CBS and TBS. South Florida with a very interesting hire yesterday. Chris Mack left the College of Charleston for South Florida. That in and of itself I find interesting. Because as of right now, both schools are in 1-bid leagues. And I could make a hell of a case that College of Charleston's as good a job. But Chris Mack leaves College of Charleston for South Florida. Just a year ago, Mark, he turned down going to Xavier. So a year later, he goes to South Florida. Makes me wonder, did something change at the College of Charleston in a year? Or does he look at the South Florida job and go, oh, yeah, I'm buying what they're selling, baby. They're going to be big soon. Because, I mean, you turn down Xavier one year. I mean, isn't that Big East? And then you take South Florida in the American the next year? A coach with a resume?
Yeah, here's my take on it, David. You're right. At this moment in time, they are both one-bid leagues. Which has a better shot of becoming a multi-bid league? College of Charleston has one way and one way only into the tournament. That's winning their conference tournament. I think the American could get to be where, a second team, and I don't mean having to put a Miami of Ohio season together. Memphis gets their act together, a couple of others, all of a sudden, hey, we could be a two-bid conference. If the Mountain West can do it, we can do it, if you know what I mean.
But I
Maybe
think
I'm dead wrong, but
no, I agree with you. Memphis had an awful year by their standards, and there are other teams who have had history who could, they've proven they could be good. Wichita State had an undefeated regular season 12 years ago. So, yes, there are teams with history in the American. But I still think that's a hell of a sales job by the AD at South Florida.
Well, he's got a vision here. I mean, he has a true vision. Yep. He funds his programs. They think they've got enough money to compete, and he's selling that. So we'll see.
Yep.
Good luck. I'm rooting for the Bulls. I am.
So think about this week. South Florida's hired the women's coach away from Alabama, and Chris Mack, who a year ago turned down a Big East job, and he leaves College of Charleston for South Florida. Is that a hell of a week? A hell of a week. By the way, Butler hired their former player Ronald Norrid yesterday. He was on both those teams that played for the Natty back 15, 16 years ago with Brad Stevens. NFL, they made official what we've known for a month. That, the season's going to start on Wednesday, September 9th, and it's going to be Seahawks at home. They wouldn't even tell us who they're hosting. And yes, the next day, Thursday, September 10th, it'll be Rams-Niners in Melbourne. Okay? At the cricket guard or whatever it is they call it. So it'll be 10:30 in the morning in Australia, 8:35 Eastern at night in the States.
So you're going to do the first 2 hours then, or how are you going to do that day?
Trust me, I am paying so much attention to who's getting the Melbourne game. I am hoping it's Amazon.
I know you are.
Am I hoping it's Amazon?
All those miles mean bubkas to you.
But like you said, if ABC gets stuck with it, then I might as well fly out Labor Day weekend and spend 5 days there.
David, if you don't, I honestly won't let you do the show otherwise. I'll fire you. You're never going to get it. You're getting a chance to go to Australia, someplace that most people can't even dream about going to. And everybody that I know that's been there has raved about it. Raved about it. For a foreign country. You know what? The good thing is they speak English. That's a plus for you, David.
They do.
And it's on someone else's dime.
Right. So I thought I saw yesterday they said 17 hours. I think it's 16. But so let's see. If 8:35 at night is 10:30 in the morning over there, so 8:30 in the morning would be 10:30 at night. So then basically I'd be doing the show 8 o'clock at night to midnight in Australia.
Okay. We'll worry about it when you get there. Send me a text.
By the way, the NFL and the officials, we told you about this a couple days ago. Remember that their NFL is maybe planning a plan B where they're going to have to hire the replacement officials and they know they're not going to be any good. So they're going to set up like a command center where they can overturn all the bad and missed calls. Well, get ready for it, because the NFL and the officials had an official bargaining session yesterday, and it lasted an hour. They didn't even make it to lunch. Talks broke off quickly. No new talks scheduled. Apparently the NFL, they're going to the owners' meetings early next month, and who knows what they're going to vote. Oh, by the way, what they are going to vote is the next Super Bowl. This year's LA, next year's Atlanta, and they haven't decided on any Super Bowls after that. The word is they're going to choose Vegas. Again, that's 6 out of 8 Pacific time zone Super Bowls if they choose Vegas. NHL 2 games. Bruins beat the Sabres 4-3 in overtime. Lightning 3 points back of the Sabres, but they have 2 games in hand. Toronto beat the Rangers 4-3. Victor Hedman took a temporary leave of absence from the Lightning for, quote, personal reasons, unquote. NBA, whole bunch of games. Heat beat Cleveland. They hit 18 threes, won by 17. Hawks went into Detroit. They blew an 18-point lead, then rallied to win in overtime, 130-129. Lakers got 43 from Luka and beat Indiana. Boston beat OKC by 10. And with San Antonio beating Memphis, the Spurs are just 2 back of OKC for the best record in the West. An amazing game in Minnesota, Mark. Houston scored the first 13 points of overtime. The T-Wolves scored the last 15 and won 110-108. Clippers beat Toronto by 25. Golden State handed Brooklyn their 9th straight loss. So who's the star of the game? Jamal Murray, who had 53, or Jokic, who had 23 points, 21 rebounds, and 17 assists? Unreal. Denver beat Dallas. And both Embiid and Paul George played for the Sixers last night. Stop the presses. Philly beat Chicago 157-137. 294 points in a game. College hockey, UConn against Michigan State, Quinnipiac against Providence, Wisconsin against Dartmouth, Merrimack against North Dakota. All day today and tonight. Those are your games in the Frozen Four, which is, it starts at 16. And the PGA Tour's in Houston. Minwoo Lee, the defending champ. By the way, 5 former major champions in the field, Mark. Wyndham Clark, Brooks Koepka, Adam Scott, Jason Day, and Shane Lowry.
Scheffler was going to play, but pulled out earlier this week because he's expecting the birth of his second child. I think we'll give him a pass for that.
LPGA, the Ford Championship in Arizona. Hoju Kim is the defending champ. The Korda sisters are both playing. They haven't both been in an event for nearly 2 years. And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was the starting 5. 5 big stories you needed to know, courtesy of Lee County, Florida. They are building a better community through a tried and true method of BST, business, sports, and tourism. So there.
The Melbourne Cricket Ground, David. It's home of the Australian Football League's grand final each year.
All right.
Oh, telling you right now, if you're over there and there's a game, you've got to get to it.
Okay.
Come on. Tell me you wouldn't want to see Australian rules football live just to see how drunk those fans get?
Totally.
I think they'd tell Bills fans to hold my beer. That's how drunk I think they get.
So you think they're breaking tables?
I don't know. No, they're breaking each other. They're not messing with tables. They're throwing punches at one another and laughing while they do it. Mike Westhoff next hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
EPA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Some rings are beautiful. Corey rings are unforgettable. April 17th through the 19th, Corey brings their entire collection to the Diamond District. Extraordinary engagement, breathtaking wedding bands, and Corey's newest fine jewelry for spring. Here for one unforgettable weekend, the Legend of Corey, April 17th through the 19th at the Diamond District. Hablamos Espanol.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Man, Empire, I'm dying for some tacos. Like I've had homemade, my wife made ground beef tacos, but come on. They're not the same as going to a real Mexican joint, but I'm not supposed to have like cut up vegetables that are on a line. So what's really the point? And I can't have salsa that's, been out for everybody, or hot sauce or any of that. So it's just killing me. And apparently there's this amazing taco place here that, even I don't think it got a Michelin star, but when Michelin came through and did their ratings, they said this place is amazing. It's killing me.
Mark, I think I would have the hardest time with that kind of stuff too.
That's, it's just getting the, whatever. It's just a couple of months. Hopefully in a few months, I'll be able to eat a few more things. But my doctor he really likes rules. He really plays by the book. So I don't expect anything early, which is just not fair. But, I don't need to get an infection. I get it. Numbers look great, EB. Everything's going really well. Thank you for asking.
Personally, I think the doctor should reward you for the good numbers and let you have a taco every once in a while.
I agree with that. I think he'd freak out because I go, there's a dumpling place, this Japanese dumpling place or Chinese dumpling, Asian dumpling place. I don't know. It's so good. I know he'd be pissed that I was in there. I don't tell him.
So it's the vegetables on the tacos?
Yeah.
That's the
Anything
problem?
that's raw.
Okay.
Like I can cut my own onions and eat them. I can cut my own cilantro and eat it. But something that's sitting on a line, like I can't eat ketchup. Like when I go to some place and get French fries or onion rings, I have to get packets of ketchup.
So like if they had cooked onions there and they put
Cooked
that on their
onions are
tacos.
fine. Cooked onions are fine.
Okay.
Cooked yeah, I mean, like I can't eat a salad at a restaurant
I got it.
because that salad's been sitting out. Even if it's in a refrigerator, if
Gotcha.
I want a salad, I got to cut the lettuce myself, wash the lettuce and, wash off. I have to wash the outside of a banana before I eat the banana.
What you doing? What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm washing my banana.
I mean, anything,
are you doing?
avocado, anything. I got to wash everything that I wash my soda cans before I drink from them. Everything I eat, I'm supposed to wash off. Whatever. And it is going well, Empire. Everything is going really well. Thank you for asking. I got some very positive numbers back this week.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Thursday, the final one of March. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. 2 poll questions already up. With the Yankees and Giants having played yesterday, do you still consider today opening day? Yes or no? And then, so what interests you more tonight? Opening day of baseball? The Madness, Sweet 16, back in action. Madness winning big right now over baseball in the baseball hour.
That does not bode well for you, David.
No. What's going on?
Very happy with our audience today. Very happy.
I am not right now. Come on. Come on.
We're younger than we thought, David. That's what it's telling us. And, well, it also shows, and we talked about this yesterday late in the show, David, that basketball is still popular. We still like to watch basketball, but we don't like to watch the NBA regular season. And I think the NBA playoffs could be, I think now, who knows when Cade Cunningham comes back for Detroit, if he does with that collapse lung, they're saying just a couple of weeks. But I mean, between Detroit and the Knicks and the Celtics and the Cavs, I think you got 4 pretty good teams in the East.
Yeah.
And I think the West looks like, yeah, it's top heavy, but San Antonio can play with Oak City. They've done it all year long. The Lakers, who people like or hate, are the 3 seed and playing well right now. You've got Denver. So, I mean, I think both conferences have some there. It may not be until the second round, but I do think the NBA playoffs could be very intriguing.
Wemby in the second round, potentially in a conference final. LeBron, who knows, could be a swan song, but if the Lakers live up to their seeding, they'd be playing in the second round against either OKC or Wemby and the Spurs. Yeah, I do think the matchups could be very
Right.
Very appealing.
I mean, you
Yeah.
could have Denver and OKC in one, and you could have the Spurs and the Lakers in the other. I mean, I don't know if the sport can do better than that. I really don't.
I agree.
So we'll get there. We'll get there. Between now and then, you're not going to hear a lot about. I will say, and if you said it in the starting five, David, and I missed it, I apologize. But one of the things that my funniest sports news of the day yesterday was the NBA governors overwhelmingly, unanimously support expansion. Really? $20 billion split between 30 of you, and you're for that, huh? Okay, I'm sure. I mean, David, I was plain old shocked when I read that there wasn't anybody descending on getting a check for a few billion, for crying out loud.
I am curious what they're ultimately going to get for these expansion teams, though. I'm serious, because they're acting like they're going to get $7 to $7.5 billion per team, and they're going to get $15 billion, and they're going to hand out $500 million to each of the 30 owners. Here's your $500 million. Here's your $500 million. There's no NBA franchise selling for $7.5 billion. There's no NBA franchise selling for more than $4 billion.
Well, what did the Lakers win for 10? Right? Wasn't that what Jeannie Buss sold them for? 10 bill?
Okay. I don't, did she sell majority but yes, the value was 10.
The value was 10 bill.
Right.
So,
okay.
And the Celtics is probably, more than 7 bill.
I would agree with that,
The
but an
Knicks
expansion
is probably more than 7 bill.
Right. But an expansion franchise, you've got the money, by the way, but at some point it's like, you're just gouging me to gouge me. I mean,
Exactly.
seriously.
No, I'm with you, David. Like, look, if they would have said 5, I think that's overpriced, but I think they'd have no problem getting it. Because what's baseball talking about getting?
2.
And that just went up. They're looking at the NBA going, we got to get more than 2.
Well, I will say this, something, is going on quietly, which could change the economics of baseball. The San Diego Padres are for sale. And apparently they're going to get close to $3.5 billion for the Padres. Now, listen, the Padres got a lot of things going for them. They got a great stadium, which is sold out damn near every game, and that's 40,000+. So, right now you're counting on over 3 million in attendance, if not 3 1/3 million. I mean, that's serious coin just at the gate. But Mark, right now, the baseball team that sold for the most money was the Mets at about 2.3. Now, that was 5 years ago, though, 6 years ago. Now, half a decade later, the Padres are going to go for 50% more than the Mets. That would change. And here's another thing. The baseball players would be laughing. They're like, wait a minute. Wait, we have to have a cap? The value of your franchises has gone up 50% this decade. And we need a cap? Explain that to me, Professor. Economics 101. Explain to me how you need a cap when the Padres 5 years ago were worth $1.5 billion, and now they're selling for nearly $3.5 billion.
Well, David, because ownership has left the mom and pop world in all of pro sports. These are corporations that are buying. Wouldn't you think, David, that corporations would be doing some evaluation of trying to see how they're going to get a return on their investment? How are you getting a return on that investment when you're spending that kind of money for a franchise?
I have no idea. Listen, I said it. The guys who chimed in for the $1.5 billion and they gave it to the PGA Tour. One of them was the Mets owner, and there's a few, high-profile guys. They all seemingly handed the PGA Tour $250 million here. And so a $1.5 billion cash infusion. How are you going to get that back? Could somebody help me? Honest, how do you get that back?
We understand probably better than 95% of the shows in the country what the television money is. There's hardly any show that pays attention to it more than we do. But are the Amazons and Netflix and whomever going to continue to spend? Because they're not making money. These streaming networks their valuations very high, but they're not making money. So can they continue to spend the money they're spending in order to get the properties that they're getting?
I mean, Peacock.
And look at the NFL. Sorry, David. Look at the NFL has just said because CBS is being sold. Hey, you guys got to give us another $1 billion just to keep your games. Okay.
I mean, Peacock's lost $1 billion the last 2 years. $1 billion. I mean, hell, when are they going to break even? I mean, what more do they need? They got the NBA. All right. They got Major League Baseball. They got the NFL. I mean, what more do you need? And they're losing $400 to $500 million a year. I
guess you're just counting on the gym membership mentality because I'm guilty of it. I got Peacock for the Olympics. Now, because Apple TV came with it, and I've got a couple of shows on Apple TV I'm watching, I'm still the moron that's paying for it and hasn't finished these shows yet. But every day that goes on, I'm like, why don't I cancel that? I want to watch Landman on Paramount. I need to dump something in order to get that. Last night was, and I've had Netflix forever, and they keep increasing the prices. And I'm the dumbass that doesn't watch Netflix and continues to pay for it.
supposedly, for what it's worth, for the Padres, you got the Warriors owner and the Pistons owner fighting over the Padres. And they've both submitted bids over $3 billion. Holy guacamole. I mean, damn.
Just add a half point to your Rocket Mortgage, everybody.
So what is it? Joe LeCobe is the owner of the Warriors, and I guess Drew Brees is going in with him, trying to own the Padres. And Tom Gores, Gores, help me out, Mark. He's the Pistons owner. Okay. And he's got a bid in that got reported to be 3-3 or 3-4. Damn.
Fascinating. It really is. I mean,
but the players are going to go, but we need a cap. What are we missing?
Do you know how high the floor is going to need to be, guys? I mean,
right. Okay. Yeah. You want a cap. Humor us with the numbers. Oh, we want the floor to be 140. Change the 1 to a 2.
Right. And what do the Marlins, the Twins, the Guardians, the teams that aren't spending, and the Royals sometimes do, sometimes don't, but they seem to be on the bottom end all the time. You're going to be forced to sell these franchises.
Yes. And if I'm the players, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, well, no offense, Bruce Sherman's got to go. The family in Cleveland's got to go. The Pohlads got to sell. Sorry. No, we're not going to subsidize them not having enough money or being cheap, whatever you want to call it. Nope, not going to do it.
And you know who they're going to get support from? Steinbrenner, the Dodgers owner. These other owners that are going to spend it are going to be, that's what's going to get the players and owners in line. If the rich owners side with the players on getting these teams to sell, because they're done subsidizing the poor teams in the league. They are.
I don't think the Padres have their own network either. Like, I think these guys are just bidding for the team. They don't get like this cash network. This isn't the Red Sox with Nesson or the Yankees with Yes. I think the Padres are just the team.
And David, San Diego is a small market.
It is.
It really is.
Now it's a one sport market, one team market, and you're it. But I mean, damn. I'm shocked by this. And it's tough to be shocked by money in sports these days. But when I saw what the Padres were going for, over $1 billion more than the Mets in 5 years, what's going on out there?
And the NBA thinks they're getting $7.5 billion for expansion franchises.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, you know what? If it were others who don't, Puck, you have this ability to play I'm an expert on a lot of things in that chat room. So you earn it. I hate to tell you that. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I were to compare everybody in that chat room on how do I say this without being a complete jerk? On what I believe you think your level of expertise is, and I mean everybody in the chat room, I would list, because of what you say. You have very strong opinions. Not saying that you don't. I am not. You're taking this the wrong way. You're using capital letters. I'm speaking in a very nice tone. You have to me, when I read your comments, you have a arrogance / confidence about everything you say, more so than many others in the room. There are others that are right there with you. There are 3 or 4 of you that I would put at the top of that list. You are on that list. It's not a bad thing. I don't care. It's your chat room. Knock yourself out. But you don't have to work on it. It's not anything you have to work on. Everybody has their own personality. I could be completely wrong in what I'm thinking and saying, but that's what I take from different people in the chat room. Like, for instance, Adam, outside of Minshew, does not take himself very seriously. He is consistently trying to go for comic relief. Others contribute in different ways. Paula, very nice. Always. Unless it's something I say badly about the University of Michigan, then I may get some all caps fired back at me.
Yeah, she's in the tank for them.
Empire, you definitely are. You are very calm unless we say something about the tush push, and then you lose your blank. That is very true. I mean, you all have your quirks, if you will. That's all. I mean, I would take it this way instead of getting upset about it. I think you should understand that I pay great attention to what's being said, even if we don't read it on air. I am always paying attention. The only thing I worry about is sometimes when two of you go back and forth, if there are others that are new to the chat room, I think they're somewhat apprehensive of joining in and just watch. Like Matthew, good morning. There are, when we see a new face in here, I get excited, but I also think the chat room has a slightly Levitard feel to it, that it's your group. And when new people come in, I don't know how well they're accepted, or I don't know how willing they are to jump in. That's all. And that's fine. Look at John Penn, like in my post, the Penner, the original equipment manager of the Florida Everblades.
Look at that.
Good dude. He was young when he was hired, and he looked younger. That was before Big. Penner left to go to work for a college team. I think he went to Union College, and now, where is Josh? University of Massachusetts.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Our buddy Mike Westhoff being honored by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll talk about it. Talk to him about life and the pursuit of happiness. Always entertaining Mike Westhoff in a little more than 15 minutes time. Listen, we don't have to make picks right now. I just want to throw them out there for the first time. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. Baseball over-unders. It's fascinating this year. The official over-unders, only 3 teams have an over-under higher than 90. All right. That's surprising to me because, Mark, we had 8 teams last year win 90 or more games. And yet only 3 with an over-under over 90. Dodgers at 102.5. By the way, I'd pound the under. Yankees and Mets each with 90.5. I don't understand the love for the Mets. I got to be honest. I think people are going. There are people picking the Mets to go to the World Series. I mean, honestly, lay down, sleep it off. I don't know what you're thinking. But like in the East, Toronto won it with 94 last year, 88.5 this year. The Yankees had 94 wins last year. They're projected only 90.5 this year. Boston won 89 last year. I think they've definitely gotten better. And their over-under is lower, 87.5. You know I'm pounding the Red Sox.
Well, here's one thing I will say, David. I'm not saying that you're kind of coming out of both sides, but here, just let me present this to you and hear and go, if you will. You've also said several times in the last few days, hey, there are a lot of people, and I think you're included, that wouldn't be surprised if 4 teams from the AL East make the playoffs. If that's the case, it seems it's going to be really difficult for most of those teams to get much over 90, if you know what I mean.
I got you. I don't think there'll be 4. I think there'll be 3. But yes, there are people that think that the 4th place team in the East will be better than the 2nd place team in the Central or the West.
And
I
with that
don't.
being said, I think that's where the numbers are what they are. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's
The Rays won 77 last year. They're over under 76.5. Baltimore is interesting because we all know about their injuries. Last 4 months of the season, they played a half dozen games over 500. But they won 75 games last year. They're over under this year's 85.5. To the central mark, your Tigers, 85.5. Well, hell, you won 87 last year. Do you think you're worse off this year than last year?
Well, I think they're a better team than they were last year. I really do. Now, they got some timely hitting out of a lot of guys. They're counting on the kid that they brought up who's on the opening day lineup. But I've already made a wager going over on the Tigers.
Yeah, you looked at that and said, ooh, that looks a touch low, doesn't it? Cleveland won 88 last year. They're over under 79.5. They're clearly picked to fall back to third. Kansas City's an interesting over-under. 82 wins last year, 82.5 this year. A lot of people, including me, think the Royals are going to be better this year. Twins won 70 games last year. They're over under 72.5 this year. There's no way this year's team's as good as last year's. A lot of people are pounding the under on the Twins.
And probably should, but when's the last time the Twins seem to be a team that, one, they don't spend money, and two, everything that seemingly can go wrong for them usually does.
Problem is they traded away 3 starters, they traded away their bullpen, and they traded away 2 everyday starters, and they're probably going to trade Joe Ryan at the deadline. I don't know how they avoid losing 90 games. In fact, I think the White Sox are going to finish ahead of the Twins. They're over under 67.5.
Would you go over, though?
I don't know about that because 68 and 94. No, because that's 68 and 94. It's like I would lean over, but I don't think I'd bet it. Seattle's an interesting one. They won 90 last year. I think they're better this year. Now, they may not be better to start the year. They got 2 guys on the injured list, but they went and picked up that key second baseman from the Cardinals, going to make the top of the order even better. Okay, they kept a couple of the guys that they traded for at the deadline last year. Seattle won 90 games last year. Their over-under's 89.5.
And Arozarena and Cal Raleigh have already made up, so we don't have any animosity between the handshake that didn't happen.
Now, Houston won 87 last year. They're at 85.5. They've lost a lot. Texas, 81 and 81 last year. Their over-under's 83.5. A lot of people betting the Rangers as a sleeper team in the American League.
I like the over on the Rangers. I do.
Well, they arguably the best pitching in baseball.
Got to stay healthy, obviously.
Also arguably the worst hitting in baseball, but arguably the best pitching. The A's won 76 last year. They're over under 76.5. The Angels won 72 last year. They're over under 70.5. So here's an interesting one. None of us think the Phillies are as good as they were last year, but they won 96 last year. Their over-under is 89.5. By the way, how can the Phillies over-under be below the Mets? Seriously, come on. What are you doing? Have you paid attention at all? Seriously, have you paid attention? The Mets don't win the division. They either get beat by the Phillies or the Braves. It's really simple. The Mets don't win the division. How can anybody in that division have an over-under higher than the Mets? Mets won 83 last year. Their over-under is 90.5. Don't you have to bet the under on the Mets?
David, I think I would bet instead of betting the over-under on the Phillies, they're plus 175 to win the division. I think I'd just make that bet.
Yeah.
I think that's a better bet than the over-under, if you know what I mean.
Interesting. The Marlins won 79 games last year. Their over-under is down to 72.5. That's right around a 90-loss season. I don't know if the Marlins have that much regression. Okay. What do you do about the Braves? I think you got to bet the under with all their injuries. Their over-under is 87.5. You sure they're going to win 88 games? If
Not
healthy,
sure they're going to win 84.
If healthy, sure, but they ain't healthy, and they ain't going to be for a while.
And is the pitching going to come back and stay healthy? These aren't guys coming back from Tommy John where we're going, hey, they're ready to go throw 150 innings. We don't know what's going on. Strider's got an oblique. That's crap that could last all year long.
I mean, don't you have to bet the over on the Brewers, almost not even knowing what their over-under is? Because the Brewers are just one of those organizations that they overachieve. They won 97 games last year. They won the most games in baseball last year, did the Brewers. And their over-under's 84.5. That's a big drop. Now, they traded away 2 starters. I know. But that's a big drop in a very soft division. All right, Cubs are the pick in the division, Mark, but they won 92 last year, and their over-under's 88.5. There's not a Cubs fan alive who doesn't think they're a better team this year than last year.
Doesn't mean they'll win 92, but I think they're a 90-win team. I'd bet the over on the Cubs.
What's interesting is the Reds won 83 last year. Their over-under this year, lower, 80.5. All right, but it's still ahead of the Pirates, who's over under 78.5, up from 71 last year. Cardinals picked to finish last. In fact, Cardinals with the 4th lowest over under on the board at 69.5.
They won 78 games last year.
Right.
Wow.
But they traded away a couple of their veterans. They're totally tearing it down. You know, Dodgers 93 wins last year, 102.5. Wow. Padres 90 wins last year, 83 is their number this year. San Francisco was 500 last year, 81-81. Their over-under is 82.5. Arizona 80 last year, 79.5 this year. And then Colorado, who won a whopping 43 games last year, their over-under is 56.5. But that's just, there they are. There, let them sink in. We'll maybe make some picks a little bit later in the show, the ones we like. But there you have it. A lot of low numbers, very low numbers compared to last year.
A couple of baseball poll questions. What are you more interested in tonight? The madness or baseball? And is today really opening day? Mike Westhoff next.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, DC, I actually told the guy at ESPN who's in charge of that show that. He didn't take too kindly to it.
On that note, I don't care that people listen. I was talking with John. We were looking at the Orlando mornings, and he gave me what he thought was the PD's number. It's the guy we've had on the show before, but he's no longer the PD. I talked to him yesterday. He gave me the PD's email, and I sent him an email yesterday. He did say, he goes, hey, I'll give you guys 2 thumbs up if he asks me. And I said, well, I'm going to put your name in the email if that's. He's like, absolutely.
Yeah, they switched. They went to local in the morning.
They're running national. They had nothing from 6 to 8. They're running some local because Bianchi went afternoons.
Yeah, they moved them to afternoons, right?
Mike's ready.
Excellent.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the hour, Andy Freed will join us 1 hour from now. The Rays' longtime radio voice. Rays and Cardinals start their seasons 4:15 this afternoon Eastern. Talk to Andy 1 hour from now. He's been a Hall of Famer in our book for years. Well, the Hall of Fame reached out to him recently and said, hey, we'd like to honor you as well. Mike Westhoff is one of the 3 men receiving the Hall of Fame Award of Excellence, which honors significant contributions to the game. And Mike Westhoff is kind enough to join us right now on the American Paint Supplies hotline. Mike, you've known for about a week. Now that you've had a chance to let it sink in, how do you feel about this?
Oh, wow. I'm still right up there on cloud 9 where I was when I first heard. It's just it's been such an honor, and I'm just so excited about the whole thing. And then I've talked to so many of my old guys, that contacted me, that played for me, and there are quite a number of them are coming. They're going to be at this ceremony, and then we're gonna have a heck of a party. I'll tell you that. We're going to really have a good time. My sisters are setting it up, and they're just doing a tremendous job. So I'm just elated over the whole thing.
Well, and you should be, and congratulations. But I'm going to read you something, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, but this is from O.J. McDuffie. He revolutionized the special teams game. You know how Augusta tiger-proofed the course? The NFL did the same thing with Mike Westhoff. All the wedge blocks, triple teams. He was second to none. He could get a guy like me who ran a 4.5 flat wide open in the league. That's pretty damn high praise, Mike.
Yes, it is. That's great. Oh, I love him. He's going to be there. I had so much. He did a great job. I think he's a heck of a football player, and is such a good man. That's pretty cool. I did not see that. Thank you very much.
Listen, we've talked about it. You've consulted with Goodell. You've sought him out. He has sought you out. You've hated some of the things they've done. You've liked some of the modifications they've done over the years. There's no doubt, though, Mike, last year there were a lot more kick returns in play than there was the year before. You'd agree with that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure. They, when they put the part of the rule that you would, the 35-yard line, I mean, it just, that was very punitive with all that. So people did, they kept the ball in play. They kicked it so you could return it. And at least they had a play. I personally I'm not crazy about exactly the way they're doing it. And what I see is I see 10 people standing right next to each other and everybody grabs the other guy. So that's not my favorite, but at least you have a play, and there is a little bit of intricacy, and they see a couple teams improved on it and got it going pretty good, but it's a lot better than what it was. But the idea was that the owners were very, very concerned for a number of reasons, but for the big collision. They wanted to eliminate the big collision and to keep it, out of the courtrooms, and they weren't going to have that. So that was part of the motivation, and this certainly did help solve that problem. And at least you have a play now, so they kept it alive with a play.
Hey, Mike, one of the things that I don't know, I guess it does bother me, and I'm just curious your thoughts on it. And you and I have talked about it. I think we've talked about it on air. We've talked about it off air. We're going to get a 70-yard field goal at some point. And it's because of the damn K-ball. The kickers have never been better, and I give them all the respect in the world for their craft. But has it become too easy, and should they be using the same damn ball as everybody else?
Well, that's an interesting question. Here's what it is. It's not the K-ball. It's a friendly ball, because they buff it up, they rub it out, and they overinflate it. Then of course they place with the regular pounds per square inch at 13, but it's a friendly ball. It just is. The other, what the quarterbacks are using, I think you could make it with that ball too. That's you can take that one home. You can do anything with those. So, but it's certainly not that ball that's right out of the box. That's for sure. It's absolutely not. But you've got a friendly ball. But then you've got some bigger, stronger, more athletic kickers, which have a lot to do with it. But then there's so many other things. You have a perfect snap now. With the rule change, back when I first started, you could, line guys up on the center. You can't do that now. So now, I used to have a great big guy that could snap. Now, long snappers, they look like high school phys ed teachers. No disrespect. It's just the reality. They're not in the every snap is perfect. Everyone has learned how to hold. We developed that. Frankly, I think I did. So the holds are almost perfect. So you've got a friendly ball, a perfect snap, a perfect hold. All right. Because of that, the time has improved a little bit to get off time, snap to kick. So it kind of negates the rush off the edge. You don't see that as being much of a factor. Now, the fact you can't line anybody up on the center, or even right there, you can get as close as you can possibly get, but you can't do that. You can't push any longer. So the rush up the middle, occasionally you'll see it and they'll get there, but you can't push, like they used to do. So you don't have quite the rush that you once had. So when you put all those factors together, 70-yard field goal, it's coming. And now with the advanced starting field position after kickoffs, people getting the ball up to the 30 and beyond. Well, you get a first down, you're close to field goal range, and that's the reality of all of it. I kind of, I see some of the changes. It keeps it going. That one doesn't bother me quite as much as others, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I love the intricacy that we used to have, and the physicalness. I think they've leveled that part of it out a little bit. And for someone like me, that's a good thing that I'm out. I don't want to do that anymore. But
Mike,
you bring a good point. It's coming.
Do you think it's I think it's a bad thing that we're having a lot of field goals. And it's in part everything you just said. They're so good at kicking them now that I think teams with their play calling play it safe and take the 3. If I'm running the league, I don't want to see more field goals than touchdowns in the Super Bowl, which we just had. I want touchdowns, and I'm wondering, do I have to do something to incentivize it? Do I have to add points to what a touchdown is worth? Do I have to bring a field goal down from 3 to 2? I mean, Mike, I'm tired of the field goals. Am I out of line?
Yeah, it's a good point. I put a proposal in one time to do it, how to narrow the goalpost. move the goalpost a little bit tighter.
Yep.
You could move it in 1 yard on each side, and what that would mean. We did a study on it, and I was interested in trying to do that because I was trying the same thing, to make the field goal a little bit tougher, put a more emphasis on trying to get that touchdown and to eliminate not to eliminate the field goal, but to make it a little more difficult, because it has become a little bit generic when you look at all those things I just mentioned, because they're all factors. It's coming. So yeah, those are some things I think would be interesting. I'm for the touchdown also, although you could look at a situation at our times when you probably better kick that field goal. If Denver kicks the field goal in the playoff game against the 49ers, they go to the Super Bowl. I mean, that was arrogance in not doing that. Everybody in the stadium knew there was a big snowstorm coming. You're going to have that. New England's offense couldn't move the ball against a team from my development out here at Lexington.
Hey, Mike, I'm curious because, obviously you and I have talked, you brought it up on air. I'm aware of all the innovations that you had in the special teams world, but how important was Coach Shula in allowing you to have those innovations? You've told me a million times that he was he worked with the defense, the offense, with the special teams. He knew what everybody was doing. Do you think you would have been able to do in the special teams world what you did if you were working for another head coach?
That's a good question. Wow. You guys should get a show. You keep asking that one.
We're working on it.
That's really a good point. Coach Shula was very much involved in everything. He did everything. And so it was tough. I had to earn everything with him. I mean, he and I would argue sometimes. Oh my goodness gracious! I didn't win too many of those, but he would challenge it. But the fact that I was able to prove that these things were valid, that we could get this done, then he let me try it. And of course, don't forget one of the early things that I learned with special teams is that early when I first started doing it in 1982, there was very, very little innovation, but also there was not a lot of regulation. I mean, the rules were different. You could try anything. I tried everything. They changed a lot of the rules for stuff that we ended up doing and put a little bit more pressure on it. But Coach Shula was real big about, he always made it clear to me that, because obviously when I was there, we had Marino, and there were certain guys that were going to make our football team that were big help to Dan that weren't going to be much for me. And he just made it clear, figure it out, find a way. You can't just I remember he told me one time that he was going to put, no disrespect to him because I love him, that Joe Rose, he said, Mike, put Joe Rose on the kickoff team. I said, oh, coach. I said, that's not his, he runs as fast as I can run faster than him. And he's never done this stuff. And he said, yeah, but we need a first down. He's going to catch the ball. He said, so find a place. So I had to do this, and I learned how to move people around. If I took someone I really didn't care too much about, didn't think he had a chance, I'd put him on a kickoff team where I knew they were going to double team him. Well, the hell, he can't make the tackle anyway. Let them double team him. The guy next to him run down the field, make the play. So, I had to learn how to adjust and move and be creative in my thinking with personnel. And it meant a lot to me. It really helped my whole career. And but Coach Shula, he had such detail. He just was a big believer. And as he would tell me a million times, it doesn't matter what you want to do. It only matters what they can do. He said, there was a time but they won a Super Bowl. I think they ran the ball, 8 or 9 times that one year, right? When they went with, when they had Grecia and Zonka and those guys.
Yeah, I think Grecia threw 8 passes when they beat the Redskins. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, now he's with Marino and we throw every snap. So Don really, he figured it out. Learn what you have and then teach them how to do it really well. And don't settle for anything other than that. Our practices with Coach Shula were lightning fast, very, very fast. But at the same time, very disciplined. You made a mistake. Oh, you were going to hear it because he was really tough on it. But at the same time, you learned how to play the game the right way.
Mike Westhoff, one of 3 recipients of the Hall of Fame Award of Excellence, which honors men who have made significant contributions to the game. Mike, we got about 2 minutes left. When you run into Goodell now, okay, is there anything that you're still after him about to change?
Oh, wow. Nothing that will happen because I'm the people. It won't happen. I love the old kickoff and the kickoff return. I love the play, but there was collision, and that will not happen. So in that regard, I think that it's here to stay. It's better than it was, though. I think in that area that there's things I don't like, and I would push it, but I'm not going to win, so I'm going to let it go.
Mike Westhoff, recipient of the Hall of Fame's Award of Excellence, given to those who have made significant contributions to the game. They only handed 3 such awards out this year, and Mike Westhoff is a recipient of one of them. Mike, congratulations. Have an awesome time with your family and with all of your former players. I hear a ton of former Jets are coming, never mind the Dolphins. Mike, if we don't talk between now and then, just have an awesome time.
Well, thank you. I'm very appreciative. I couldn't be prouder or more happy. And I'm so excited to share this with so many of the guys that really helped create and take a part of the game and kind of move it up into another level. I'm very, very happy and proud of that. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mike Westhoff. You know, Mark, I just realized during this interview why we've always gotten along so well with Mike. He admitted with Shula he'd have a lot of arguments. He knew he wasn't going to win them, but he had them anyway. And that's us.
That really is. We could line up former bosses for hours. We could do a whole show with former bosses.
Right.
Of arguments that we had that we lost and yet continued to argue.
Right.
It's
we knew
part
we
of our
were gonna
charm.
win.
Yep. Miller and Moulton, always arguing.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
PGA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Some rings are beautiful. The Koi rings are unforgettable. April 17th through the 19th, Koi brings their entire collection to the Diamond District. Extraordinary engagement, breathtaking wedding bands, and Koi's newest fine jewelry for spring. Here for one unforgettable weekend. The Legend of Koi, April 17th through the 19th at the Diamond District. Hablamos Espanol.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Amazing my mentality. I went in the elevator and there was people in there and I didn't have a mask and I'm freaking out. Not used to seeing anybody in the morning when I refill coffee.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home in Jacksonville and Tampa St. Pete. Final hour of the show. Southwest Florida, Punta Gorda, Venice, Live Oak, Lake City, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. So is it opening day today? Or did Major League Baseball ruin that by having the Yankees and the Giants play yesterday? Sorry. Which is it? Is that opening day? Is today opening day with 11 games in action? That's most of the league? I don't know. It's our question. And then
71% saying it is, David. 71% today's opening day.
all right. Tell you what, though.
Somehow I'm thinking you don't. You are. This is as negative as I've ever seen you about the start of baseball, because you love opening day. I mean, you truly do. And I'm not being a jerk here. I'm not trying to pick, but I have never seen you. We've been doing this for damn near 20 years. And I've never seen you this, whether it's upset, bothered, whatever you want to put in front of it, about the start of baseball season. They keep moving it up and up and up. It's driven you crazy. But when opening day comes, you have a gleam, men, a gleam about opening day. And David, you've lost your gleam this year. And it bothers me because I know how much you love opening day.
Now, I haven't lost my gleam for the sport. I haven't lost my gleam for the season. I do not like the way they're beginning their season. I don't. And I know they've done this before. Hell, they've played 2-game series in Japan and then come back a week later and had quote unquote opening day. I get it.
And had spring training games for the teams that already played regular season games in between their opening day in Japan.
Yes. How preposterous is that?
Right.
But I don't like the Netflix opener. I don't. If you are going to make a deal of it, then make a big deal of it. Okay? Have it where the most people can see it. The other thing is, I do think Major League Baseball should do like the NFL. I think the Dodgers should be rewarded. They won the World Series. Again, I think if we're going to have a team host a single game separate from everybody else, I think the organization that won the World Series deserves the honor, and they should be celebrated.
David, I could argue that they are being celebrated because they didn't get put on Netflix last night.
No, they're on NBC tonight, where many more people will see them. That is true. But no, I don't like it. And, I get it. It's a TV show. We're the ones that called it that. Okay. And anything for a buck. But, you say in your sport that certain things are important, and then you treat them as if they're not. Well, then why should we continue to think they're important? Help me out here. Just help me out, Major League Baseball. It's obviously not that important to you. You'll start it wherever, whenever, with whoever. You'll put the game wherever. So it's not important to you. It's just an excuse to bring in a few more millions of dollars, which in the grand scheme of things, of 30 teams and an $11 billion sport, really? Is it worth it? I mean, I would promote the blank out of opening day if I was Major League Baseball. It's why, quite frankly, Mark, I'm in favor of having it this past Tuesday. We've done the first week of the tournament. We got nothing going on. We're not competing with football, okay? And you let everybody on Monday talk about their brackets and who they got left and blah, 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 blah. You let a few coaches get fired. But what do you have? You have 24 to 36 hours to do what? Promote opening day in baseball. And by the way, everybody plays. You know why? It's opening day.
I will say I'm finding it, because I thought that the Dodgers had their own window tonight. I thought it was the only game, and it kind of is because Seattle plays at 10 o'clock tonight, but they don't even have, and Seattle's got reasons to celebrate. They had a good year. They're going to put a banner up from winning the division and that kind of stuff. So the Dodgers aren't even getting their own window tonight. Not for the entire game. For the start of the game, they are. But if I'm NBC, honestly, David, if I'm NBC here, I'm like, you're really going to put another game while we've got our game going on?
If I'm NBC, I'm also like, hold on a second. We came in, pardon my French, we bailed your ass out. ESPN dumped you. You had 3 years that you needed filled before you can put the network together that you want to put together after the 2028 season. We bailed your blank out, and you put the Yankees on Netflix to open up the season? Seriously? Why couldn't they get the Dodgers last night? I mean, I watched the Wednesday night lineup on NBC. It's the 3 Chicago shows, Med, Fire, and Police, all in a row. Yeah, we could do without it for a week. And I like them.
How many of you just learned something there? Not about baseball, but about NBC's Wednesday night lineup, because I'm raising my hand. I did. I had no idea that there were 3 Chicago shows. I would know more about Chicago's greatest hits and be able to sing you 25 or 624 before I would be able to name one person that's on any of those damn shows.
And those 3 shows have been around each for over a decade, and they've been on the same night for over a decade.
That tells you how much I watch network television.
I know that.
That would be never, unless there's a sporting event on. And
Right.
NBC doesn't have that many.
But they will today and tonight. Pirates and Mets at 1:15. Diamondbacks and Dodgers at 8:30. So there. But so that's, yeah, I'm bothered by it. By tonight, tomorrow, I've got to get over it. This sport has moved on as baseball does. But I'm serious. Listen, I don't want to play in November, and I want to play as few games against the NFL as possible. Well, to do that, we're going to have to, shorten the season. We all know that's never going to happen. Okay. Or then B, we're going to have to start the season earlier. Well, if we're starting it March 25th, why not start it March 23rd or 4th? Seriously.
I do like your Tuesday idea. And David, look, can you at least give me this compromise? I'll give you Tuesday opening day. I will. There's nothing wrong with Monday Night Baseball because they've had a one-off for a decade now. They have. That's not going away. Because by the time 8 o'clock rolls around on Monday night after the tournament, people are bracketed out, if you know what I mean.
So
I think you could play the one-off game on Monday and then Tuesday. And I am a traditionalist. The Reds should be playing at noon or 1 o'clock or whatever the hell. The Reds should be the first damn game every year.
I agree with that.
They should have their parade. They should have the game. Green Bay doesn't belong in the NFL based on the size of the market. But Green Bay, we all know, is never going away. Lambeau is special. It is.
Now, I will say, you run the risk of the weather being, we've talked about out of one side of our mouth, we don't want the Cincinnati's and Detroit's of the world hosting games the last week of March because, well, look at where they're located and it's still March. Okay, we want them playing in domes or in the South or in the West. Okay, but
I might give up on Detroit, but I wouldn't give up on Cincinnati.
Well, I'll say this. I think when we go through, I think we found that we can find 7 places that are warm or domed. I think we're missing 1. Okay, so maybe the one cold weather game, Mark, that we roll the dice on every year is in Cincinnati. I'm willing to roll the dice.
And that's where I'd roll it. I would. Detroit doesn't have – look, everybody knows I'm a diehard Tiger fan. It's my first team. It's the first game that I went to. I was, before Michigan State, there was the Detroit Tigers at a very young age with my parents, and I would go every year. I love the Tigers, but there's no parade. There's no, opening day's big everywhere, and they will sell it out. But it's not Cincinnati.
I agree. I think we just came up for something for baseball that's a lot bigger and better than the way they're doing it. Okay, we'll go with the Monday night after the first week of the tournament. Okay, maybe people spend the first 6-8 hours of their day on Monday talking brackets. But hey, we got Monday Night Baseball tonight. And then that leads into a 72-hour smorgasbord of baseball, an extravaganza, if you will.
Yeah, you think about it. We do mornings, David. We'd be talking hoop. And by the time we got to maybe the bonus hour, we'd start getting into the baseball game. But by the time PTI's on, and I know it's not going to be on forever, but you know what I'm getting at. By the time they roll to PTI at 5 or 5:30, whenever the hell that show's on, they'd be talking opening day. They would.
Hell, maybe that's who I'd do the deal with to make sure that all their talking head shows are talking about it. If I'm Major League Baseball, who am I giving that game to?
So there we fixed another damn sport. Free.
I know, just
there
for
you
free,
go, man.
And this consulting service, in theory, we could have made a lot of money with this, and instead,
we can't even get enough sponsors for our show, and we're fixing baseball.
I know, but very quickly, top of my head, all right, because you got 30 teams, so you need 15 sites. Well, you got the California sites. So you got San Francisco, you got, the A's, whether they're in Sacramento or Vegas. You go the Dodgers, you go the Angels, you go the Padres. Arizona's indoors, Seattle's indoors. That's 7. Okay, so now Houston's indoors, 8. All right, we go Miami and Tampa. That's 10. Atlanta's 11. All right, help me out here. I've got to be missing some domes.
Well, you've got the entire NL West with the exception of Colorado.
Right.
You got the Brewers in the Central.
The Brewers I missed. That's 12.
You got the Marlins and Braves.
Toronto's 13. Okay, so we're close. We're within 2. Cincinnati's going to get their game. We need to find one more warm weather site. Maybe it's Texas. Maybe we gamble on the Rangers every year outdoors.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
EPA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
All right. I was looking while you were counting, so I apologize. Rays and Jays. There's no one in the Central that's in a dome, right?
AL?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So Athletics is 3, Houston is 4, Angels is 5. Mariners playing a dome?
Yep.
That's 6. Texas
They can
is
cover
7.
it. It can be outdoor and they can cover it. So
Texas is 7. So Atlanta's 8, Miami's 9. Brewers are 10. Cardinals, which is iffy, is 11. Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Padres, Giants. That's actually 15.
yeah, I would take the Cardinals out and make the Reds. Give them
I
their
would
game.
too.
So we've got 14 warm weather or dome games, and then the Reds.
Right.
Done. And then we need one of the 2 new teams who come in 5 years to either be in
Have
a
a
warm
dome.
weather city or to have a roof.
I don't think the Royals' plan was to have a dome. I don't, Mr. Spivey.
Now, I will say, now that the Chiefs are abandoning Missouri, okay, if you're the Royals, you could ask for more money and ask for a dome or a retractable.
By the way, got a good text here from my buddy from Cincinnati.
We got the 838 all ready to go.
Well, we have it, but I think so. This is a different whole setup for me to run, so I don't know exactly how I'm doing it. We're going to have a little time at the end because I got to click it off because he popped back on.
Is there any way to trail the music at the beginning to cover for it or no?
I don't know, David. I really don't know if I can pause it. That's my biggest worry. This is a little different than anything I've ever done before. Because I can't put it on the side like I do with the Twitter post. It's too big. I got to go through a different setup. So it's.
Gotcha.
The answer is I don't know. I'm going to try it next break and see what happens and see if I can pause it. I don't know if I can. I think I just have to click it and it goes because I played with it for a second yesterday, but had a lot going on in a short amount of time. Long way to go in a short time to get there. I needed the snowman.
Watch your bandit run.
Thank you. There are 2 people in this place who were here when I got here. I mean, they file in and out. There are 2 that were here from the get-go. Another one that was here, he's leaving today. Guy who had a similar thing as me from Naples. Older guy, Steve, nice guy. He's going home today.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Brian, I mean, no, we want warm weather teams to start. If you're going to start in March, give you a break. What do you give me go ahead and type me how you want to do it.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Andy Freed, the radio voice of the Rays, to join us coming up next segment. It is interesting that today is quote unquote opening day, although that's one of our poll questions. Is it no longer opening day because, well, the Yankees and Giants played yesterday? That's one of our poll questions. And then what are you more interested in today, baseball or the madness? And I believe the madness is kicking baseball's butt.
I think it is, and I'm not surprised. People love, David, they love brackets. We've learned that over the years. People love a bracket.
Well, there's no doubt other sports are trying to copy it and can't seem to get it right. Very quickly, though, Mark, because I know there was something you wanted to talk about, but today's a big day because there's these 9 or 10 baseball teams in which their regional cable deals collapsed since the last time they played baseball. And they're going to play baseball again beginning today or tomorrow. So it's like, I'm a fan. I have a question. Where can I get your games? And so this morning, DirecTV is having a series of announcements. Don't know how many of you have DirecTV, but they're basically signing a channel to your team.
Wait a minute. DirecTV still in business?
Just like I said, don't know how many of you still have DirecTV, but they're assigning a channel to your team. Comcast Xfinity is doing the same thing. Now, the problem is, like in the Marlins case, I've seen what's being reported this morning. Depends on what county you live in. It's this number. You live to the north. It's this number. Never mind the rest of the state. Okay, what number it's going to be, where are they going to carry it? But I don't want to say it's awkward, but today's opening day of baseball, and fans are literally this morning having to go to websites and X and find out where the heck I can watch the game. Which also leads me to a question mark. This can't be fun for the sports bars, right? This has to be a mess, right?
Well, I would think, David, if you're a sports bar in Detroit trying to show the Tigers game, then perhaps. For a sports bar in Florida that's trying to show a Mets game, you're getting MLB TV. Same way you get the NFL package. To me, out of market's going to be easier than in market.
Right.
So the sports bar is kind of the home, and at least in my perspective, of where you go if you don't want to pay for the package. That I always can go to this bar because they've got all the sports and I can go watch my team play. I don't think that will change much. What I do think will change is in-market viewing. That's where you're having a bigger difficulty, and that's obviously where more people are watching, and particularly in their homes. So I don't think it's affecting the out of market at all. I do think it's tremendously affecting in market. So, but I definitely, they certainly have screwed this up too. There's no two ways about it. To be announcing where games are on the day the games is, could you imagine the NFL season starting and not knowing where the games are being telecast? Think about that.
No, that's why I brought it up. I'm like, listen, you can be the biggest baseball fan in the world. This is messed up.
Now, I will say it'll be interesting to what happens in the NBA come the fall, because the same thing's going on with I did see, and I could be wrong. If there's someone in Michigan that's listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I saw that FanDuel is the sponsor or the naming rights of the network and of a lot of them, but that the FanDuel Michigan's going dark the middle of April. Well, I know that the Tigers and Red Wings are doing their own thing. They're owned by the same guy. I don't know what the hell's happening with the Pistons come November. So they're going to go through it. They're going to have more time. A lot of this was thrust upon baseball in a shorter time frame, and they've been scrambling, and they've screwed it up.
So I know many of us complain about all the different networks that we have to subscribe to, or if we want to watch the NFL. 10 seconds. Just give me 10 more seconds. If you want to watch baseball this year, you need Fox, TBS, ESPN, ESPN Plus, Netflix, Apple TV, NBC, Peacock, MLB Network, and then you need whatever your team's .tv package and wherever it is.
But as David mentioned, we've got a couple of poll questions today. They are around baseball. Since the Giants and Yankees played yesterday, is today still opening day? And 75% of you say that it is. And what are you more interested in, baseball opening day or the tournament this evening? 77% of you say the basketball. Got a couple of texts here that are pretty good. One was from my buddy who texted me directly and said he's in Cincinnati. Someone I met in Florida. He's moved around for work, and he's from Cincinnati originally, and he's a diehard Reds fan. Season ticket, got back, and the first thing he did was buy season tickets, David.
Wow.
I mean, no, this is a diehard Reds fan.
Right.
But how diehard are you? Because you sold your tickets for opening day? What the hell?
What?
Now, maybe he's got to work. Maybe he couldn't call in sick. Who knows? He knows a lot of wealthy people. He might have sponged off one of them, and he could be in a suite today and sold his tickets. But he said he sold his tickets for double face value. His first game today, it's 80 degrees in Cincinnati. Beautiful day for opening day.
Damn.
His first game he's going to is on Saturday, where the expected temperature at first pitch is 45. You deserve it. I'm just telling you right now, you're a friend, but you deserve it, damn it.
Red Sox and Reds at 4:00 today for the 80-degree weather.
But a couple of texts about baseball. One says there's something about Giants Stadium that makes you feel something. I liked the opening game. I love that ballpark. I would love to go to a game there. And then the other one, this text is fantastic. This shows you who our listeners are, David. Here's the thing about opening day. Who's my NFL team going to draft?
It's a dead good point,
that's
sir.
So good.
It's a dead good point.
Good. That is so good. I love every minute of that. Pelican Roofing in Florida text line. The number is 21,000. But if you've never texted the number before, you need to text a keyword. That keyword is Miller because it's easier to spell than Moulton. That's really the reason, the only reason. Text Miller to 21,000, and then you can let it rip.
I do have a question. Like Fly Panda Fly in our Twitch chat room says, MLB is literally showing the world why people are increasingly finding alternative streams to watch sports. Where? Oh, seriously, where are you going? And if all the cost of watching sports has caused you to not watch sports, what are you watching? No, I'm sorry, I'll hang up and listen. More people are watching sports than ever before. So I know we all, believe me, America is good at one thing right now, bitching. Okay, but I'm curious, where are you going? What are you doing? Because you ain't going anywhere and you ain't doing anything else. Stop it already.
Now, I'm personally upset because my team's on MLB Network today. I don't get the MLB Network, so I won't be able to watch. That's the price I have to pay for the moves that I've made from a streaming standpoint. But because I literally can't get MLB Network. I mean, I'm not going to buy a Hulu or wherever it is. I've got YouTube TV. That's my live television source. I'm not paying for another one. And I don't get the NHL Network, and I don't get the MLB Network, and I pay the price for it.
Did you hear what the new Rays owners are doing? You buy a ticket to a game in the month of April, they're giving you a $10 coupon. It's basically, hey, one's on us. They're basically saying if you come to a Rays home game in April, first drink's on us.
Well, we talked about how we do opening day on Tuesday. Tell you what I thought of is anybody who bought a ticket to Tuesday in one of these places could come back Wednesday for half price.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
All right, David. I'm going to put this up right now. One, you just got to tell me if you can hear it. That's the most important thing. And if I can't pause it, I'm going to take it off right away.
And welcome back, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller underscore.
Ooh, I can pause it. Goes to that.
And welcome back, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller underscore.
We're frozen. Look at that. That's funny.
And you had a quick wardrobe change.
Good call.
Great job, Raj. Great
That's
job.
a good call. I'm Panda. I'm sure there are plenty of people that are getting, cracked fire sticks, but I would think the majority of the world is not. That's just me. I'm going to mute you, David. Good to know, Brad. I not only might be using the free trial, but I very well may get it. I mean, I'm a Tigers fan. They're going to be good. Is it worth $108, $60 or whatever to watch them this year? I'm very much thinking about it. But I probably will jump in mid-season because between, the Masters, the tournament, the hockey playoffs, I've got enough to watch until June.
You're back, Mark.
And welcome back, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Major League Baseball season got underway last night with the Yankees and the Giants. The Rays get their season going late afternoon in St. Louis against the Cardinals. Their longtime radio voice, Andy Freed, kind enough to join us once again. You can follow Andy on X at Andy, the letter B, Freed, F-R-E-E-D, Andy B. Freed. Andy, it's David and Mark. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's the greatest day of the year. It's a national holiday. It's time for baseball. I love this time of year if you're a sports fan anyway, because you got the NCAA March Madness going on and baseball starts and hope springs eternal.
No doubt. Well, how much hope is there for the Rays? I mean, it's the same old story. This division's loaded from top to bottom, and the Rays are a different team than they were a year ago. So tell us about the hope for this year's Rays team.
Well, if you don't have hope on opening day, then it doesn't exist. But I'm more comfortable. This might speak to my own nature, but I'm more comfortable than years where the Rays aren't predicted to do particularly well. If you look back through the Rays' history, when the Rays are overlooked are the years that they've tended to do particularly well. Years that they were predicted to win divisions, 2009, 2014, those years ended up being disappointments. Years where the Rays were not thought to have been a particularly good team. And in 2008, when they turned the franchise around, I remember thinking, well, if we go 500, that will be good. And then the whole franchise changed. In 2011, we started the year 0-6 and 1-8, and within a few months, they were a playoff team. So I think this is a team this year. There are so many new faces, guys, that in spring training, I almost thought that they should be like at one of those mixers, where they wear the stickers, "Hello, my name is." But as it turns out, we're getting to know everybody, and we'll just see how it mixes. I'm out of the prediction business. I'm not a bettor. I just like to see it play out, and we'll see how it goes. I don't have a true, real feel yet. I think there's some definite obstacles for this team, none more so than the fact they're in such a tough division.
No question about it. I mean, there are many projections that have 4 teams from the division making the playoffs where they grab all 3 wildcard spots in the American League. But Andy, you've been there. This is year 22, right?
Yeah, 2005 was my first year. Is that not hard to believe how fast that's gone?
I know. But you're still young and you sound great. So just you've got that going for you, which is nice. But in all seriousness, the Rays have obviously had excellent players in franchise history, but is potentially Junior Caminero the best? I mean, you've had some. Carlos Pena had a couple big years. Obviously, Longoria and Crawford and what have you. But I mean, this is potentially the biggest stick this franchise has ever had, right?
And to even zoom out a little bit, I think he might be the biggest. Well, let's say he has the potential, as you said, David. He has the potential to be the biggest star that the Rays have ever had. Evan Longoria was definitely a star for a while, especially those first 3 years when he made the All-Star team. And he had a terrific career with the Rays, eventually traded away. Carlos Pena, you mentioned, had 46 homers, the record that still stands for the Rays. Junior got to within one of that last year. But on a global basis and on a national basis, already Junior may be the most recognized young star player the Rays have ever had. If you go into the World Baseball Classic and you surpass Shohei Ohtani for jerseys sold, I mean, when does that ever happen for a Ray? And the answer is never. He was the number one jersey sold to fans in the World Baseball Classic, period. He plays with an unbridled enthusiasm, one that I think is coming to this game. And if you watch the World Baseball Classic, you'll know what I mean. Enthusiasm, it is genuine, it is real. It's not to be a showboat. It's the way baseball is played in Latin America. And I've become such a huge fan of it that it made the American team, I thought, look stiff. And look, there's plenty of talent there. And I'm not saying that one way is right or not. If you're not a big celebration sort of guy, then don't. But Junior is. And you can see how a lot of people from his part of the world are. And to me, that's exciting because it brings a young audience in. Baseball, for the first time in a while, has a bit of a younger audience coming. There's a lot of momentum coming in baseball for people like Junior Caminero. And in terms of the Rays, he is already immensely popular.
You know, everything you said, I completely agree with 100%. But I remember when Evan Longoria was with the Rays in the early years, I remember whether it was a billboard or a mural, and when I came to Tampa, you'd see him. And I've been in Tampa now for about 8 weeks for different reasons. But, you know, I drive around. I see a lot of Lightning stuff. Obviously, the Bucks are a huge part of this town. But with the new stadium down the road and a lot of, I think, hype towards the Rays, not only do they have an international star, but this is probably the youngest city in Florida. I mean, Tampa is a vibrant town with a lot of young people. And the point you made, I guess I don't care what the old baseball fan thinks anymore. I really don't. If they don't like the celebration, are they really going to quit watching? As someone that spent my whole life trying to get people to watch hockey, the hockey fan didn't go away because of the blue puck, like I like to say on Fox all those years ago. And I don't think the baseball fan's going to disappear because players celebrate. But to your point, the young fan, and in this city with, you know, a lot of young people and a lot of, you know, budding sports fans, I think this is exactly the player that Tampa needs right now.
I thought, and I agree, Mark, I thought of Joe Madden's line from when he was early as a manager with the Rays. And I remember sitting in his office one day, and there was some controversy going on within baseball at the time. This is probably around 2006 or 2007. And I think there was a catcher that was upset that a player had hit a home run and did a little celebration, which now seems muted. And I remember Joe saying, why? Because someone in 1920 decided that's how we need to act. Do we need to act that way? And Joe can be a contrarian that way. And I've always remembered that. And now it kind of comes to light a little bit more. It's not done to show up the other team. It's done to celebrate. And having now visited the Dominican Republic and having visited Cuba, as we did now 10 years ago, and that time has flied, the celebration is genuine. The people from that part of the world, when good things are happening, they love to celebrate and they cherish life. And without making this too, you know, big, it is just a baseball game. I do think there's a genuineness to it. And if I agree, if someone doesn't like it, that's their prerogative. And I'm not saying that every player has to be that way, but there's something about the way the players like Junior do it that connects. And ultimately, as an athlete, if you can connect take a guy like Brett Phillips, for example. Brett Phillips was not a star player. He was a player that had one big hit in the World Series, and yet he was able to take that moment and connect with people. There's something about an innate ability to connect with fans that some players just have, and Junior Caminero has that. And I think it's funny, when he was with Team Dominican in the World Baseball Classic, he was the one that was giving pep talks to the rest of the group. And that's a group that has veteran players on it, not to mention a manager like Albert Pujols, who has as great a resume as anybody. And he was in the face of Fernando Tatis when he was on deck to pump him up. And he was the one that said to the rest of the group, if there's an optional workout, we show up. That's who we are. We're here to work. We're here to play. You show up. The kid's 22. Now, you get that resume in baseball by having a year where you hit 45 home runs. The way things work in the game, usually, if you're going to be a leader of a team, you got to produce on the field. So if Junior continues to produce on the field, I think this leadership thing he has will come along with it.
Longtime radio play-by-play voice of the Tampa Bay Rays, Andy Freed, kind enough to join us, has also been doing more television in recent years with Dwayne Stats, taking a little more vacation time, and Andy slides over. You can follow Andy on X at Andy, the letter B, Freed, Andy B. Freed. How positive do you think it will be being back in the Trop now that we played a year outdoors, albeit in a minor league park with kind of major league dimensions? Just curious, how much better will life be for the team being back home?
You make me laugh, David, when you say kind of major league dimensions,
Right.
because in left field and center field they were, in right field maybe not so much. That being
Exactly.
said, now Rays fans see why I've been griping about how short the porch is at the actual Yankee Stadium, because it's laughably short. But okay, that aside. Tropicana Field has taken a lot of hits over the years. And let's be honest, the Rays are trying to get a new stadium. It's probably time to move on from it. Having worked there for my 22nd year, I love it. But that doesn't mean everybody has to love it. I do think that I've never heard, in fact, I'm sure of this, I've never heard such enthusiasm to go to Tropicana Field as I've heard this year. This is the biggest opening day at home for the Rays since the first one, 1998. We were there at FanFest back in, February, and they did it outside because you couldn't go inside the Trop yet. And there we were on 16th Street, and we're partying, we're having a good time, we're meeting fans, we're doing all sorts of stuff. And one fan after another was pointing to that building and saying, I can't wait to be back in there. So let the people from out of town bust on the Trop as much as they want. Most people nationally that make fun of Tropicana Field have never been there in the first place. When you go, no, it's not Camden Yards, it's not Fenway Park, it's not Wrigley Field, but it is what that ballpark is and is necessary in the state of Florida. It is a covered ballpark. They also have new things to it, that some of which I believe are for surprise later on, that are going to make it be as good as it could possibly be for this year and moving forward, hopefully just for the next couple of years. But I can't wait to be back in there. I've never heard such enthusiasm for the Trop, and I think it's going to start right away when we have the home opener April 6th, because it's games against the Cubs and then games against the Yankees. The Trop is going to be very, very loud starting April 6th.
No doubt. All right. We all know the pitching staff is there. If it stays healthy, I don't think there are any worries about the pitching staff. We talked about Junior Caminero and what a star he can be. But where is the rest of the run production going to come from, Andy?
I think that's the biggest question of the group. They did trade Brandon Lau and his 31 home runs. I was for that trade. I think that was a very good trade. I don't think Brandon Lau's value is ever going to be higher than what it was at that point. And you know the Rays' philosophy, especially for a guy coming up to his contract year, trade him a year early instead of a year potentially too late. They got back for him, in part, a kid named Jacob Moulton, who is probably the player I'm most excited about to see this year, and he's not even with the big club yet. He's going to start the year with the Durham Bulls. Top prospect positionally in the Rays organization right now. So I'm hoping for a fast start for him in Durham to prove that he's ready to come to the major leagues. The ball comes off his bat extremely hot, similar to Junior's. So if he makes enough contact, and he's a very good defensive player, we know too, so he will provide some power. The three guys that you know are going to hit, Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero. Not worried at all about any of those three guys. Outside of that, I think the Rays are going to have to be creative in the way they score runs. Chandler Simpson's ability to get on base, I think his on-base percentage this year has to be somewhere around 350, so he can steal 60, 70 bases, and maybe more than that, who knows. and create runs that way. Kevin Cash said the other day, the bunt is going to be a big play for us this year, not just for him, but other players as well. And then I think you're going to need some surprises. Guys like Cedric Mullins, who's one of the new center fielders for the Rays this year, had a 30-homer year with the Orioles a couple of years back, has not found that kind of power since. So I think you're going to need guys like him, guys like Ryan Vilade, guys like Jake Fraley. There's a lot of new players for the Rays this year, and I think they're going to have to be we're going to have to be surprised to see more guys hit the ball over the wall.
Andy, I've got about a minute or so. Just want to throw out your thoughts on the computerized strike zone, if you will, and the rules associated with it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways. Where are you before it's happened in a real game yet?
I'm amazed at how much the umpires have to keep track of these days. Not to mention mound visits and did that guy step off the rubber? And did the guy step out of the box? Who called it? Who's used their timeout? Who hasn't? Not to mention calling the games. So I think the ABS can help. I feel for the umpires a little bit when they miss one, because that's where the focus is going to be. Oh, he missed one. Well, he maybe missed 3 calls out of 150 that he made that day behind the plate. So I feel for the umpires a little bit. But look, that's the way it is. We're taking arguments out of the game. Which, okay, if that's the way it is, it's almost one of those things, guys, where once it happens, you can't go back. I love to watch old baseball games, and to see games now without replay seem odd. So I think the players will adapt to it very quickly. I'm more interested to see the strategy of it. Do you want to make sure you hold on to one for the end of the game in case you need it? The contrarian to that would say, well, maybe a call early in the game could change the game also. So we'll see. I'm keeping an open mind.
Andy, thanks for doing this again. Have a great call later today in St. Louis, and hopefully we can do this again.
Mark and David, always appreciate you having me on. Thanks so much.
Andy
Freed on the show. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for listening. The bonus hour is next.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Some rings are beautiful. The Koi rings are unforgettable. April 17th through the 19th, Koi brings their entire collection to the Diamond District. Extraordinary engagement, breathtaking wedding bands, and Koi's newest fine jewelry for spring. Here for one unforgettable weekend. The Legend of Koi, April 17th through the 19th at the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yes, he is, RCV. He's been very good to us over the years. Wish we got him more, but it's tough for baseball guys. They sleep in, and we understand it. So we're also very appreciative. But thank you for the kind words.
And then also when they have an off day, sometimes they're less inclined to do the interview.
And I don't blame him.
Nope. Yeah, I've been amazed for a couple of years now that they're able to get what they get for Blades games. I mean,
are Wednesdays the same thing, Mark, when they have the cheap beer and hot dogs? Is it still expensive tickets? Because I know I did not think they were that expensive. I know for a fact that when my daughter's school has school nights, they are not that much money. They're not $25. But again, I don't go, I don't buy, I don't care about them anymore. I cared enough for too many years and they sent me on my ass. So go Stingrays has kind of been my motto for a lot of years.
I'm reading here $13 to $16 genuinely.
Yeah, I did not think 25 was the cheapest ticket, but I don't know.
Yeah, we get Pat Kerwin our season tickets, but that's going to end. Blades win. Oh, wow. Don't know that I'm worth a sir, but appreciate it. Whew.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. Coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour, fourth and final hour in Jacksonville and Tampa St. Pete. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Since the Yankees and Giants played yesterday, is today still opening day? So far, 3/4 of you say, yeah, it still is. If I was baseball, though, I'd be concerned that it's been between about 23 and 30% all day that folks say, no, it's no longer opening day because of that game last night. On baseball, I don't want it ruined in any way, shape, or form. But what is telling is we asked you what interests you the most tonight. Opening day in baseball today and tonight, the madness. And by a big margin, 73-27. You're like, yeah, the madness. That's like 8 of 11, Mark. Okay, that's what that percentile is, 8 of 11.
All right. We used to do this a little more regularly on the show, and it's post-game that we would do it. But I'm going to make you do it pre-game.
Okay.
We love the TV numbers. We hope you do too. But what would you consider a success for NBC tonight? I'm not even going to do the Mets Pirates middle of the day. I have no idea. David, I honestly, for the life of me, Thursday at 1, I don't have a clue what that game's going to do from a rating standpoint. But 8:30 tonight, the Dodgers, the best team in the game. It is the one baseball team that I think most sports fans could name several players on. Like, I don't even know how many people today could name several Yankees anymore. There used to be a time when everybody knew damn near the whole Yankee lineup. That team's not that. There's Aaron Judge and a bunch of guys. There really is. And there's some good pitchers and Fried and Cole, but I mean, come on. It's not the star power that I'm used to when I think about the Yankees, if you know what I mean.
You'd have
but
to
the
go.
Dodgers have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 3 Hall of Famers
and Betts, and I mean, come on, this team's loaded with talent, and we know who they are. So, with the madness going on, which has been getting terrific TV numbers, terrific. By the way, the women's tournament's done all right too. It's averaging the second round averaged $1 million a game, and that's on ESPN and ESPN2 for what it's worth. So, what would you say, coming off of the World Baseball Classic, which did unbelievable numbers, what do you think would be considered a good number? What would make NBC happy tonight? And I don't even know if that's the right way to phrase it. What, 8 million?
8 million. Going up against the tournament. All right. It's the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks bring nothing to the equation. So you're going up against the tournament. You're going up against 2 games in the tournament. And there's a good chance that you won't throw a pitch in which there isn't a live game on between the staggered starts between the 2 regions. So to me, I think if they got 8 million, maybe even 7 million, but I think they'd be thrilled with 8 million. My question is, how much will the Dodgers take out of the madness?
No, I hear you. And I that just shows how different Miller and Moulton are. We're looking at it from 2 different perspectives. But if you were to put 8 million as the number, I would bet large sums of money on the under. Large sums of money.
Okay.
Like, I think if it does 5, I think it's good.
Yeah, and if I was NBC, I'd be disappointed with that, even though it's usually better than what you do primetime on Thursdays with whatever your programming is.
But I mean, I get that it's cable. Sunday Night Baseball, when it was a good game, did 2.5 million.
at most. Yeah. Did about 2 million. Yep.
And that's a Yankees Red Sox type game doing 2.5 million.
Yeah. Doing 2.5. Just a good game would do about 2.
So typically it's what, 15-20% bump from cable to network?
Oh, easy 20%. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's only an extra 400,000 viewers.
Right.
If you go 2.5,
That
taking
takes you to 3 million.
Right.
If you said 5 million, I wasn't sure if I was going to go over or under. Again, you watch more network television than I do. But I think a lot of us who are listening and watching this show consume their sports so much differently today than they did just a year ago. There's not been a lot of hype to this baseball season. Now, the World Baseball Classic was fantastic, but that was on Fox. They weren't promoting opening night on NBC.
No, but I mean, come on. If you watch the WBC, you're aware of opening day and baseball. And besides, this is Ohtani and the Dodgers. I mean, he is the biggest draw in the sport.
He is.
So, I think
next week before we get him, right? No. The numbers. Like early next week, we'll get the numbers. I mean, it's Thursday night. I mean, will we have him Sunday? Probably Monday.
Yeah, probably Sunday, but definitely by Monday. Yeah. Here's my thing, though. It's the second largest city, and it's the most popular or second most popular team in it. And I mean, I think NBC's counting on 3 million viewers from Los Angeles, to be brutally honest. I mean, they love their Lakers and they love their Dodgers.
They do love you are right about that. They love the Dodgers.
Love the Dodgers. So I think they're counting on 3 million just from SoCal and surrounding areas. And so that's why I think they want 5 million on top of their Los Angeles audience. And they're hoping that Ohtani delivers it. I mean, Mark, remember that World Series, that was a Dodgers Blue Jays World Series. Dodgers Blue Jays. Not a single viewer north of the border counted in Fox's ratings. And by the middle of that series, it was doing double digits and then some.
Yep.
And by the end of it, it was doing NFL numbers.
Maybe you're right. Maybe Ohtani's that much. And I will say, I don't know if it's a break, but it's a little bit of a break because the Phoenix market may watch the baseball game for an hour or so. Arizona doesn't play until almost 10 o'clock.
Right. I mean, that's
there's
5
only one
innings.
team west of the Mississippi playing in the basketball too.
But it's in Arizona. It's Arizona, and that's
Right.
one of the two teams in this tournament. That's a great point, Raj. It really is. I'll still go under the 8 million.
Well, and I think that's the percentage play. I'd probably amend my official pick to 7 million. But if I'm in, you asked me if I'm NBC, I would be disappointed. You're thinking it's going to be around 5. That would disappoint me. I'm beginning a 3-year investment in Major League Baseball here. I've been promoting the heck out of it. Remember, there was this thing called the Olympics not that long ago, and we were promoting it in that.
Yeah,
So,
our attention span's not that long.
I know
It's
that.
February.
I know that was a month ago. I know. But I'm also counting on a little bit of a WBC push. The hockey push was far bigger than both of us thought it would be. Far bigger. And I'm counting on a little WBC push here. It was wildly successful.
Absolutely. Here's the thing that I would challenge that with, and I'm going to be fascinated whatever the number is. I really am. WBC, those games that did really big numbers, all were what? Games of consequence. Loser, go home. The Olympics, the same thing.
Yep.
So's March Madness.
True.
We love games of consequence. And in 162, this game tonight doesn't mean diddly squat.
Nope, it doesn't. Big picture, it doesn't. Never
Now-
mind if some of these basketball games are any good.
Well, and that's they're not teams that are going to get people excited. Texas and Purdue, Iowa and Nebraska. But like you said, David, first off, one's on CBS. If it was TBS and TNT, then I think you're onto something. But the fact that the network is carrying half of the games is going to hurt the baseball.
Absolutely. Oh no, the basketball is going to win. Oh, it's going to do more than hurt baseball. Yeah, to me, the big question is, can baseball in any way hurt the Madness? Because there are going to be far more people watching the Madness.
And this is why the entire show, we think this is a bad idea for baseball starting last night and today. David said Tuesday and Wednesday. I've said Monday night and Tuesday. And I think David's like, you know what? I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, because then I can get the Monday night and I can get all day Tuesday. I can get all day Wednesday.
Bingo.
So, yeah. Once again, they don't want to play games in November. They want to compete with the NFL as little as possible. So we're going to be starting in March, from now on. So then, pick which day you can live with. To me, it makes no difference. Starting the 23rd or the 26th makes no difference.
So baseball or basketball tonight? What are you more interested in? About 73% of you going with the NCAA tournament for tonight. But you do think today is opening day. The one-off last night doesn't do it for you. In fact, more of you think today's opening day than anything on our poll questions. Nearly 78% of you saying today is opening day. Not for the Marlins. It's tomorrow.
Right. Rays 4:15 in St. Louis. Marlins 7:15 tomorrow night at home against the Rockies.
See if the Rays can get off to a good start. I mean, you talked about it. The Cardinals have torn this sucker down.
Yep.
Opportunity for some of these young guys to play against maybe even younger guys and get off to a good start.
Drew Rasmussen on the hill for the Rays today.
Miller and Moulton, the good, the bad, and the ugly, 25 minutes away.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So I don't know if the guys in the chat room, and I don't remember who it is, but there's one of you that always would press us on wrestling. And college wrestling, not you, Adam, with WWE. But David, I don't know if you saw it. Did you happen to see the guy who won, and I don't know what weight class, but he was for Penn State wrestler, and he won the national championship last weekend.
And he shook everybody's hand, and the guy he beat in the final wouldn't shake his hand back.
He beat him 20-4. 20-4. They wrestled 9 times in their career. Do you know how many times the guy from Iowa won? That would be 0. I watched because I then saw the end of the match. The announcer said he was far and away the best wrestler in the tournament. That guy that won that particular weight class is simply the best wrestler in the country. In this clown from Iowa, where everybody's supposed to be so effing nice and they're great sports, he was a jerk off. He embarrassed that university by that. They're supposed to be a different breed of human being. They're supposed to be Midwestern nice. He was a punk. There, I feel better.
I agree, Mark.
That irritated me more than Moby making comments about Lola.
As it should.
So Raj, I on a TikTok thing, some guy or girl or whatever had a video of like 5 new bands that are going to be big, like rock bands. I will have to forward it to you. I don't know if you're on TikTok, but Caroline was one of them. I do not remember the other 4 names. And they had little descriptions of who they are, what they are. I'm interested because I don't know where, outside of occasionally on Spectrum, I don't find new music in very many places.
That's true. I am on TikTok. I'm not on there very much. Did that Caroline have a last name, or was it just Caroline?
It's a band. It's Carol. It's a band. Very, I'd give them like an 80s, 90s alternative sound, if you will. Very
all
mellow.
Right, not familiar. Was the band Geese on there?
No, they were not.
I think they've been around a little bit too long to be on a list like that, maybe.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Some final thoughts. All coming up in a little more than 15 minutes' time. Pat Kerwin on the show tomorrow. Expected to have the television voice of the Marlins on the show tomorrow as well. Rays opener, 4 in the afternoon today in St. Louis, 4 o'clock Eastern. Marlins opener, 7 o'clock tomorrow night at home against Colorado. If you haven't found it yet, and you need to, between Comcast, Xfinity, DirecTV, this morning they're letting you know where you can find your favorite team's games in a lot of cases. So they got like 10 teams that as of this morning, you didn't know where you were going to find them. Wow. Crazy. Just crazy.
It really is, David. So I use, and I've said this before, I use the app called Score for when I get scores. It's the easiest. It's easier than ESPN. It's, at least to me, it's the easiest one I've found to get everything I need from a scoring standpoint.
Okay.
Well, they list all of the networks that the games are on. Now, they don't do a very good job when the games are streamed. They don't list Peacock and things like that. And it makes it a little, but I just happened because I know the Pirates and Mets are on NBC. The next game that starts is the White Sox Brewers. And so I just happened to pull it up. It's on Watch On Brew. Okay.
Yep.
What the hell is that?
Yeah. I mean, you want to play it safe? I'd advise MLB.TV. I have no idea the cost. I have no idea if you get first week free. I have no idea. But all I know is when I go and look to see where games are being broadcast, if it's not on a network, it's on MLB.TV. So, okay, maybe that's my backup this year.
Yeah, and they've partnered with ESPN Plus.
Right.
So you can, and again, I should have done a little more homework. I think you can buy it through ESPN Plus. It's still the same price as it is on MLB TV. But, if you're like David and I, and we watch all of our hockey on ESPN Plus, probably a more simple purchase for you to keep doing what you've been doing.
Right.
But I'm guessing here in Florida, I know where I am now, when I'm in Southwest Florida where I live, I can watch the Lightning. Well, I've been in Tampa now since the beginning of February because of my treatment at Moffett and now at the Hope Lodge. I can't watch the Lightning anymore. I'm blacked out. And it's a problem.
Yeah, it's awful.
Because it's quickly becoming my favorite NHL team because the team I root for is soft as baby do. And I've always liked the Lightning. I worked for a farm team in their organization when I first broke into professional hockey. So I had friends who played for the Lightning and friends who ended up working for the Lightning. So I've always had a soft spot for that franchise. And, sitting having beers with Tony and Phil Esposito many years ago in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, when they came to see the minor league club was still one of the coolest things I've ever done. I've told the story before. There was nothing funnier than listen to Tony Esposito talk about one of the players for the Atlanta Knights, tough guy. And he was a friend of mine, so it was hard for me. I just kept I didn't say a word the whole night. And I know to most of you that seems shocking, but I was with Tony and Phil Esposito and our head coach, Gene Ubriaco, and the GM and the two broadcasters. And I was one of the broadcasters. And I just sat there and sipped on a beer. I didn't even drink fast. I was scared. And as Tony knocked down his fifth beer in an hour, he talked about one of the players for the Knights that partied too much. And I'm going, huh? But, I've always had a soft spot for the Lightning. So I am guessing that if I get the MLB package, the Rays games I know here they're going to be blacked out. I don't know if they are in Southwest Florida. My guess is maybe. I'm not sure. That's the part of this I don't know because that's been the complaint of baseball fan for the longest time. The blackout rules in baseball are ridiculous. Ridiculous.
They are absurd. I will say I would be interested, and this is a little behind the curtain and a little nitty gritty, and I don't know if fans, want to go here. But listen, I get, especially in baseball and hockey, we like our local announcers more than the national ones. I mean, Joe Buck said it forever, in which he's like, well, of course they don't like me. I'm not their guy. They're used to watching their guy. I'm not going to get as excited. Even if I get excited, I'm not going to get as excited as their guy. And when the other team does something, I'm going to get excited. They're not going to like that. So, of course, they don't like me. But, Mark, listen, if it's a regular season game, for the most part, it's absurd in this day and age that you can't see your favorite team play. I don't think there should be blackouts of any kind. However, let me ask you this. You're a network. You pay a ton of money to broadcast these games. You've got the rights to, whatever. Yankees, Red Sox, Saturday, 4 o'clock. Should you really be able to see that game on Nesson and Yes? Or NBC paid you how many hundreds of millions of dollars? I mean, shouldn't they get full return on their investment?
Oh, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
the thing is, we can see the game. That's why there should be no blackouts. Blackouts are completely unacceptable now. And Manfred's another thing, by the way, Manfred has to address with this whole CBA and then do it before he retires. And he's got less than 3 years.
Right. And one of the big ones are the Cubs.
Yeah.
The blackout rules this is one of the most popular teams in the sport. The restrictions on watching Cubs baseball from places that it's damn near a 2-day drive from is absurd today.
Right. Like, I don't think you can see Reds and Cubs baseball in Vegas. What? How preposterous is
maybe
this?
that'll change when the Athletics finally get to Vegas, but who knows?
But I got a question, and I know we're probably going to talk about it, but not this long, so I'm going to bring it up, and I hope you don't get mad at me. There's a couple of really big sports anniversaries today, but
Okay.
one of them's in your world. Okay, well, they both are actually, but one of them's in your world.
Right?
You're complaining about your hockey team because they're soft.
As baby do.
They don't play today. They have an off day.
They need it.
Don't you show them 29 years ago today? Sit them down in a room, don't say a word, and just put the tape on. Because it was 29 years ago tonight, the famous game against the Avs, where they got payback.
Sure, but David, this team, I don't think it would. I know what you're saying. I don't think it would do anything.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking you. Okay, I'm asking you if you're running the team, if you're running the organization, if you're Iserman, who was on the ice and part of it, do you get him in a room and do you turn out the lights and do you show him the tape?
Only if he fires himself after showing the tape. Because he's the one that built this horse blank soft team. 3 marches in a row, they've collapsed. 3.
Okay.
You know why? Because they're soft. When teams start playing playoff hockey, they're not built for it.
Sometimes the team can get tougher from within, though. The Sabres are even talking about that. The Sabres are like, you know what? We toughened up in the first couple of months of this year. We got tired of losing.
All I know is the season was on the line 2 nights ago, and they got out hit 2-1 against Ottawa at home.
I understand, but there's still 10, 11, 12 games left.
I'll take the under.
Okay.
I'll take the under. They get Buffalo on Friday. Buffalo blew a 3rd period lead against Boston last night and lost in overtime. Good luck in that one, Detroit.
All right.
I'm done with him.
I know.
I am done with him.
You're waving the white flag with 10 games left. I'm surprised.
Even if they make it, they're going to get swept. He needs to go.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah. By the way, not only $25 for the Everblades, but what I'm seeing, because I just tried to look, it's actually 27, and they send you right to Ticketmaster on the Everblades website. Now, it may be a couple of bucks cheaper at the box office, but it's $27 for a row 16 end zone seat. I think they were $8 when we started. I don't think it was 6. I think it was 8. Tim, are you sure that wasn't? I saw a video similar to that, and it turned out it was a few years ago, but I could be wrong. Because I thought I saw that video too, and it was like several years old. But again, that could be a different video. There, you know. Drivers are $500, $600, $700. I'd be diving in the water for the damn thing. I bought my kid clubs for his birthday. It was twice as much as I thought it was going to, or for Christmas rather. I told him, I said, by the way, that's your birthday present too, because it's twice as much as I thought I was going to spend. there was a comma involved. And that was just for irons. David, do you realize that the TGL teams are worth 9 digits?
That's crap.
How?
I don't see how that's possible.
The women's teams are going for to get a women's team in a league that hasn't started yet. It's $20 million. Okay.
At least it's 20 million. I mean,
Yep, I do. Red Dog, there's no doubt. COVID saved golf.
absolutely.
Saved golf.
Yep. And then golf was one of the first sports to come back on TV also.
COVID did 10 times more for golf as a public sport than Tiger did, believe it or not. Tiger made people watch on TV, but people didn't run out to the course the way they thought they were going to.
Not at all.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till we're done. Diamond District bonus hour here on Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. 2 poll questions. They've been up since the very beginning of the show. Is it still opening day today when the Yankees and Giants played yesterday? And, all right, what are you more interested tonight? Opening day baseball today and tonight, or the madness? And you are interested in the madness.
You know, David, it's funny. You always talk about, boy, this month has flown by, and I kind of always give you a little hard time about it because we're old. But every Sunday since I've been in my Groundhog's Day here in Tampa, I'm like, man, that weekend went by quick because it's the only 2 days I don't have something to do.
Right.
I mean, every day I've got something to do. At least I have the show. And I've been so grateful to be able to have done the show throughout this time. I don't know what I would have done without it. But it's Thursday already.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, even in the Groundhog's Day I'm living, I'm like, damn, I got college hockey today. I got basketball. This is fantastic.
Yep.
So you know what, David? This week's really flown by.
Imagine that.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
The first part of the month, not so much, but this week,
Flown by.
fire.
Took me a while to get to the a-hole moment. It was at 9:39 today.
Yeah, well, you put it in a poll question yesterday. Today is David Moulton Day. I mean, it's Manatee Appreciation Day. But
But you,
I loved it.
you call yourself a manatee.
I do.
I don't call you a manatee. You call you a manatee.
No. Now, I will
And
say
have for years.
I've lost 40 pounds. I don't know how many more pounds if I lose, am I still a manatee?
No, you're really not.
Am I a baby manatee?
Oh, there you go. We start in 1952 today. Kansas beat St. John's for the championship. It's the first tournament to have a true Final Four format. 1953, Dr. Jonas Salk announces he has successfully tested a vaccine to prevent polio. Kind of a biggie.
Yeah. I'm glad we stuck with it.
Today in 69, probably tonight in 69, Marcus Welby, MD, premieres on ABC. It was a movie first, and then it became a series. And if you're like me, you watched it in syndication when you came home from school. It was on at like 3 or 4 o'clock on one of the networks every damn day. The lip and tongue logo for the Rolling Stones was used for the first time today in 71 when it was used on VIP passes for their show at the Marquee Club in London. The Lakers break the NBA win record today by winning 69 games in 1972. UCLA did something unusual today in 73. They won the NCAA men's basketball championship. Oh, yeah, it was their 7th straight. Bill Walton, 2nd consecutive year as most outstanding player.
But they would get beat the next year. They would lose in the Final Four. David Thompson and NC State cut down the nets.
Beating Marquette for the title. In 74, this is a pretty good fight, David, even though it was a quick one. Foreman TKOs Norton in the 2nd round for the heavyweight title. Heavyweight division.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ron Lyle would destroy the heavyweight division today. He was like the 6th best heavyweight.
Today in 79, the highest rated college basketball game ever. Michigan State, Indiana State. Sparty takes down the Sycamores 75-64. We saw Magic and Bird go at it for the first time. They would then save the NBA.
24 rating, 35 million viewers.
Ebony and Ivory released today in 82. Not nearly as good as the version done by Joe Piscopo and Eddie Murphy.
Not even close.
Geffen signed this band today in 86. They'd go on to do a couple of things. It was Guns N' Roses. Tyson sentenced to 10 years for the rape of Desiree Washington today in 92. Today in 1997, the Red Wings used to be tough. And in 2001, Tiger wins his first of 2 Players' Championships, beating Vijay Singh by a shot. And it was 2 years ago today that the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore was hit by a cargo ship, causing the 1.6-mile-long bridge to completely collapse, killing 6 maintenance workers. Robert Frost, Tennessee Williams, who I thought most of my life was a country singer. Strother Martin, you don't know the name, but he was the GM in Slapshot. He was the warden in Cool Hand Luke. Did a lot of movies with Paul Newman. Sandra Day O'Connor, the first female justice. Leonard Nimoy and James Caan would have all celebrated birthdays today. Nancy Pelosi's 86. Bob Woodward, 83. Diana Ross, 82. Steven Tyler is 78. Martin Short, 76. Jennifer Grey, Dirty Dancing and the sister there in Ferris Bueller, she's 66. Marcus Allen is also 66. John Stockton, 64. Singer Kenny Chesney, 58. And Von Miller, 37 years old today. What did I miss, David?
Ran into Marcus Allen at the USC Purdue game. I believe it was in mid-November at Purdue. He looks amazing. And you're telling me he's 66?
Correct.
Honestly, if I put the over-under at 46 and you met him in person, I mean, you'd probably start doing the math and realize it's got to be over, but not by how he looks. A couple of things I just want to throw out there. Here's a good trivia question for you. You want to talk Bird, Magic? All right, Indiana State, Michigan State. Ask them where the game was played to show you the growth of the tournament from that game.
Was that at the Pit?
No,
because they had a Final Four there right around that time.
NC State, Houston.
Okay,
that was the Pit. Yeah. The Huntsman Center at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. I mean, it didn't hold 10,000. And think about where the Final Fours are now, where the regionals are held, and all of that. Sadat and Begin did their peace deal today, also in 79. And Sadat signed his death certificate at the same time, unfortunately. Still
Right,
the only
they still
peace.
have peace. He made it for how long after?
3.5 years is how long he made it. But yes, still a peace that has lasted 47 years. The only one in that part of the country. Or world, I should say.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Texas, where a teenager in Texas earned accommodation from the Boy Scouts that's been given fewer than 300 times in the history of the Scouts. He saved his scout leader from drowning in rapids. Devin Champenoy was one of several scouts in the Georgia Blue Ridge Mountains doing whitewater rafting. The scout leader, David Lemley, fell off the raft and was not able to climb back in after getting his foot stuck. And somehow, this 13-year-old was able to free his scout leader in Class 3 rapids and get him out safely, along with a couple of kayakers. For the bad, I go to Washington State, where a car was pulled over and a man was arrested after police say they found a custom bong device built into the dash of the truck so he could comfortably smoke weed while driving. It is the man's 98th arrest. Now, he's done okay because in 27 prior misdemeanors, he's only had 4 convictions. That is a modification to a vehicle. And finally, the ugly, we go to Daytona Beach, where a man who was pretty inebriated crashed through the gate at the Daytona Beach International Airport and tried to board multiple planes before security caught up to him. It happened around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He got his way onto the airfield, tried to get into an unoccupied running airplane, but it was locked, so he couldn't board. He briefly got onto 2 other planes before finally being stopped and detained by security. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly, brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department. Hiring new officers, offering great pay, a signing bonus of up to $10,000, and there are plenty of other jobs available. For all information, capecops.com. That's capecops.com.
All right, the madness. 4 games. I have to admit the point spreads on a couple of them I find intriguing. The first game on CBS, a little after 7 o'clock, Texas and Purdue. CBS, 7 o'clock. Then at 7:30, TBS, Iowa, Nebraska. Care to guess the spread?
I've got them in front of me, so I know they've split their 2 games this year. This is the 3rd time that Iowa and Nebraska have played.
Nebraska is a 1.5 favorite, with the over-under being 131 and change. They're basically saying Nebraska 66-65.
By the way, Purdue is 7.5 point favorite over Texas.
And with the over-under, that would be about 77-70. I think Purdue will score more than that. CBS 9:45, Arkansas, Arizona. Arizona also a 7.5 point favorite. Then 10 o'clock or thereabouts on TBS, Illinois and Houston. I'm surprised Houston's only a 2.5 point favorite. I know they're not on their home floor. They are in their home city. I don't know. I thought it'd be around 5. It just
Brad
seems a
Underwood was
touch
asked
low.
about. Sorry, David. Brad Underwood asked about playing on the, basically a road game. He's like, man, I coached in JUCO. We drove vans to games. I'm not worried about his comments were spectacular.
Yeah.
He downplayed it. I mean, even if he thinks it, his team doesn't know because he downplayed it fantastically.
Yeah. He's like, we're staying in 4- and 5-star hotels. We're flying charters. Trust me, we're fine. College hockey today, 1:30, ESPN2, Michigan State and UConn. Then Quinnipiac, Providence at 5. That's streaming. On ESPNU at 5 is Wisconsin and Dartmouth. And then back on ESPN2 at 8:30 is Merrimack and North Dakota. Only 3 games in the association tonight. By the way, we're down to about 10 games left in the regular season. Some teams only have like 8. But Orlando's home for Sacramento. They got to win it. 15-point favorites. Your Pistons are home for the Pelicans. Got to win it. Surprised they're only a 4.5-point favorite.
Played last night.
Yeah, that's probably why. 2 of the hottest teams in the league. Knicks in Charlotte to take on the Hornets. And don't laugh about the Hornets, man. Okay? They're half a game behind the Heat for the 8 seed. They're only 2 games out of the 6 seed. Just saying. NHL, a lot of games tonight. I think I counted 13 games, Mark. Lightning are home for the Kraken. Panthers are home for the Wild. And that game's 7 o'clock on the 4-letter network. Whole bunch of games tonight. The nightcap on ESPN, Oilers and Vegas. 2 teams who are a mess right now.
But some big games in the East. The Flyers at home against Chicago. The Flyers trying to get to a playoff spot, obviously have to win. The Islanders hosting Dallas. The Islanders trying to fight for a playoff spot. Probably the 2 biggest games, though, are Columbus, at least in the East. Columbus and Montreal, and Pittsburgh and Ottawa. All very close. A couple are in the playoffs. One's just barely out. So big games in the Eastern Conference tonight, as that is very close from second place in the division to being out of the damn playoffs.
Well, those 4 teams you mentioned are at 88, 87, 86, and 85 points. So a regulation win is monstrous this time of year.
Enjoy the madness and the baseball, whichever you choose. We'll talk about it all tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Some rings are beautiful. The Koi rings are unforgettable. April 17th through the 19th, Koi brings their entire collection to the Diamond District. Extraordinary engagement, breathtaking wedding bands, and Koi's newest fine jewelry for spring. Here for one unforgettable weekend, the Legend of Koi, April 17th through the 19th at the Diamond District. Hablamos Espanol.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
PTA Commissioner Adam Silver will visit Lee County in April as he is recognized by the Edison Awards as their Achievement Award honoree. His recognition not only highlights his leadership within professional sports, but also his broader influence on business, technology, and social responsibility. The Edison Awards recognize thought leadership from around the globe, making Silver's visit a significant moment for Lee County. Visit EdisonAwards.com for event details and tickets. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Thanks, Raj.